per hour also going to be possible. Then late tonight into Friday morning, going to be tracking a possibility of some strong to severe storms, prompting a first alert weather day. That ends at 3 a.m. into Friday morning. Temperatures fall off significantly, looking at highs into the mid-50s. Then we'll slowly start to warm up towards the upcoming weekend, looking dry. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Koch.
We know it's early. Mike's not totally awake yet either. This is Mike Ferguson in the morning on NewsTalkSTL.
Happy New Year. Okay, maybe not technically Happy New Year, but it's opening day for the Cardinals, so we'll just put it that way. Happy opening day. You know what? There's a lot of questions. Should this be an actual holiday around St. Louis? Yeah, I'm on board. I think we should. All right. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the news dump here. One of the other things about St. Louis is we're in that weird part of the country where certain things just hit us harder, like physically hit us harder. How many times have either you or people around you said, oh man, these allergies, they are awful? Well, it actually is worse here. And yeah, you can go get medications and all that kind of stuff. And for some people, maybe that's what needs to be done. But did you know that you can sort of equip your body to deal with it better and prevent a lot of the health problems? Ryan Mastoni from our friends at Nutrition Stop came into the studio with us yesterday, and I tell you, a lot of you had questions and a lot of reaction to what he had to say. So you know what? In case you missed it or you want to get the information again, here's what Ryan had to say.
We really do live in one of the worst areas when it comes to allergies. And I knew when I first moved here, and before that I was doing business here for years. I used to do, this is a weird story, Susie, but I got some of the scoop on this. I was doing a health related interview on my old TV show, Missouri Viewpoints, back in the day. And I had some doctor of whatever she mentioned, she goes, oh yeah, St. Louis is one of the worst for allergies in the entire country. Mm-hmm. And that is because of the way the river's confluence happens and extra mold and, allergens and all of that. But there's actually a topographical reason for that. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So we're not just a bunch of wimps. No, but there really is. We're getting assaulted more than most people are, unfortunately. And the thing is, it's not just annoying. It actually can take a toll on your health and take a toll on your body. And so Ryan Mastoni from my friends at Nutrition Stop, you just posted on this on Facebook the other day. Mm-hmm. And you and I were talking about it in the store the other day as well. Let's start with the whole thing where it's not just annoying because you got a runny nose or you sneeze or you cough for a little bit. This will take a toll on your body if you're not ready and help fight it off.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll just create excessive inflammation in the body.
Yeah. And so then the question is, what do we do about it? Because a lot of people just say, well, I just got to wait till it hits and then I'm going to go buy an antihistamine at the Costco or drugstore or CVS or whatever the case is. But you and I were talking, you were mentioning this is an immune response. What does that mean?
Well, there are these cells in the body, white blood cells. They are called mast cells. They are responsible for shooting out histamine if we have any pollen come in, pet dander come in, any kind of foreign debris the body terms as an allergen. The mast cells will shoot out histamine response to create vasodilation to help try to get rid of that bad stuff out of the body.
So, Ryan, when people think about it in terms of histamines, I mean, that's a term that we hear like antihistamine. Mm-hmm. And you think about it in terms of medicine or how you treat that. But it sounds to me like you're aiming at a kind of proactive response and then that gets ahead of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are ways to get ahead of it and mitigate it. There's natural remedies. Quercetin has been popular over the past few years since the thing that happened a few years ago. Quercetin, rutin, different bioflavonoids can actually strengthen mast cells. So when an allergen comes around, it doesn't, quote, pop it and release histamine. That'll help reduce cytokine storms happening in the body and just keep the body in check so it can combat more allergens, et cetera.
So basically we're talking about making, I guess, a part of that would be an immune system, but another part of it would just be the body dealing with invaders, which are all this pollen and mold, and that's all this is. So we're talking about basically strengthening that part of the body. And you can do that through what? Nutrition, through supplementation? I mean, you don't...
Diet, certainly. Again, quercetin's outstanding. It's a bioflavonoid. It's in a lot of different citrus foods. It's a supplement you can take on its own. Reducing the amount of sugar. I'm always coming in here and bad mouthing sugar. Sugar is a big culprit to produce inflammation and really just destroys your innate immune response. It slows it down, makes it very sluggish. Cleaning your diet up is really, really big too. The liver is filtering everything. If it's bogged down from the junk we're eating, from breathing and toxic air, it's all filtering through the liver. So the liver can only do so much. So if there's a backup of histamine in the body, it's going to slow down the ability to get rid of all of those allergens out.
So for somebody who is, interested in being more proactive and taking a more, nutrition-based response to their health, but is not really sure where to start or kind of overwhelmed when they start hearing all this stuff, what do you recommend? Like just like beginner's nutrition stuff kind of approach?
You could, as simple as starting your day with a freshly squeezed lemon. That's going to give your body some vitamin C to keep collagen structure strong, keep your immune system strong. It's going to have some quercetin and different bioflavonoids. Quercetin is a bioflavonoid. It's a cousin of vitamin C. You can take nettle. Nettle's an excellent antihistamine. It's rich in different minerals. So then you're also feeding your body nutrients with the nettle. But I'd say if you know you're one of those people that are allergy sensitive, definitely 2, 3, 4 weeks out, start bumping your quercetin. That'll really build those mast cells. So when the allergens come through, they don't pop and you become a leaky faucet.
Yeah, we're visiting with Ryan Mastoni from Nutrition Stop, and we're hearing me brag about them all the time here. Okay, do some myth busting real quick before we go to something else.
We'll see. Yes.
You hear people talk about, okay, if you're going to go get honey, get the local honey because that's better for like your allergies and helps your body adapt to it. Myth, or is that a myth, or is there something to that?
There is something to it. It's definitely not an overnight. It's something you're not going to take in the next day. It's going to work. It's something the local honey is going to have natural pollens in it, and that'll just give your body like a subtle, like homeopathic dose of those pollens every day. So it recognizes it. It's not like a foreign invader, and it'll be a little bit softer when like a big inundation of it comes.
Yeah, then which actually I buy my honey from you guys.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, even a little one, it lasts forever with honey.
Yeah. And we have really good local honey. Actually, our beekeeper works with us at the store.
Oh,
nice.
That is good. So, okay, there's different kinds of allergies, or at least different kinds of allergic responses. Some people get like, the sinusy stuff, the noses and the sneezes and all that stuff. But then some people, but some people have like skin reactions, like, I don't know, the contact dermatitis type stuff or hives. Are there different nutrients that address those different manifestations?
It's all a histamine response. It's all a histamine response. Okay. I'm going to repeat myself again. Quercetin is going to be one of the best ones. Rutin's going to be a good one. Nettle's going to be an outstanding option too.
Okay, so when it comes to, I guess, getting out ahead of these things, and this isn't even just about the allergies, because we got a few minutes left here. Obviously, spring is here now officially. We're thinking of getting outside the summer, going to the pool. People a lot of times are going, oh, that New Year's resolution to get in shape. Maybe I need to get back to that. What are some of the basics for people to go from point A right now to get to the next step? First of all, you want to look better, but actually getting healthier, because that's what I talk about a lot when I'm talking about you all on the air, is that, I've had a number of compliments on how my physical appearance has changed. But the reality is that I don't have anywhere near the inflammation that I used to have. I don't have anywhere near my muscles recover faster after ball games and workouts and things like that. So there's a far more holistic approach since I've been working with you all.
Yeah, absolutely. Simple. Start simple. Water is very key. Start your day with a huge glass of water. That'll flush out any impurities. If you want to go a little bit further, add a freshly squeezed lemon to it. That'll flush out and help the liver process and eliminate toxins and that built up histamine that's in the body. Sugar, really try to reduce your sugar. If you're going to have sugar, make sure you've already eaten for the day. You can maybe have it a little bit later in the day, but the first thing, down the hatch as far as food goes, in my mind, should be protein. Those are building blocks. Protein is built up of different amino acids. The body breaks those down and creates structure in the body. So it's very, very key to get protein in the morning.
So I know right now that a lot of people personally that they are the instant gratification, meaning if something does not work immediately, then it must be all junk and bogus.
Yeah.
Especially with us coming out of the seasonal affective disorder season with the cold and everything. Is there a grace period that we should allow if we start to eat better and do a little bit more before we actually start to feel or notice the benefits of doing it?
It could take a few weeks. Start simple, start small. Start with breakfast as your biggest change of the day. Set the tone right. start getting your quercetin in if you know you're that person that's having allergy issues. Really start building your mast cells, so then when the allergens come, you're not a leaky faucet.
And when you make those changes, your body for a little while is going to be mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your body's like, hey, what the heck? Where are my
my candy?
Where's my Fruit Loops? You know, your body's going to do that for a little bit. You got to kind of power through that. But
Kind of like a petulant kid.
Right, petulant kid. And so here's the thing, though. It's funny though, is that after now of years of doing it better, I'm not gonna say completely right because there's always room for improvement. Now the junk doesn't appeal to me. And if I get so, like, for instance, when I was in Puerto Rico, there was one game, late game, we're going back, nothing was open. All we could find was a Burger King. 2 bites, man, I hated it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's where I want to be. And I drive by McDonald's, I'm like, I used to eat that stuff.
Yeah.
And so once your body gets used to it, you actually crave the healthier stuff.
It's very, very true. Yeah.
We have a comment question. What do you suggest for people that have chronic itchy eyes or just itchy eyes during this time of year in general?
Which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Reduce sugar, increase your fluid intake to flush it out. You can maybe add a little bit of milk thistle in just to help your liver process and regenerate. But vitamin C, quercetin, nettle, those will really help and go a long way. It's going to take a little bit for the body to build it up. It's not a drug, so it doesn't work instantly. You will get some symptomatic relief, but the longer you take it, over duration of weeks, you'll really see a strong response.
Okay, so does that mean if somebody's got allergies that they're going to need to buy like 10 bottles of different vitamins and supplements in it? I mean, is there a more simple, direct way to get started on this? Because I see some people go so overboard, and that's what I like with I go there. I'm like, here's the thing, and this is what I do with you and with Barbara, with Laura, with everybody you've got there. I'm like, okay, here's what's going on, and then it's always a fairly simple, direct thing, because I know other people who will go to the store in the mall or the strip mall or whatever, and they'll be told, we got to take this, and then, there's a $500 price tag for, 10 different bottles of whatever.
There's a range of options you can explore, from $15 up to $50, $60 or so. If you want to have your key defenses, you might need to spend a little bit more to really have all the tools under the tool belt. But it does make a big difference. At Nutrition Stop, we've got a really great curated set. We don't have an enormous, huge set, but what we have works, and we've got a track record on it that works, and we've got really good ideas.
Couple notes here. Don't forget, tomorrow, Flashback Friday. Be sure to send Jerome your 80s bump music request. And for tomorrow's show, Susie and I are going to be in Troy. We're going to be doing the show from Whistle Pig Outdoors, whistlepigoutdoors.com. Come on out and say hi and check out Whistle Pig while we're there. We're doing the whole show there, 5:30 to 9, right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
All the information I need on the drive to work.
Mike Ferguson in the morning. I keep it on throughout the day, whether it's local, national, or something big that's happening overseas.
News, analysis, and opinion.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
Cardinal Nation, it's time to paint the town red.
Opening day of Cardinal baseball at Busch Stadium.
And there's nothing else like it.
It's a St. Louis tradition.
2 things define St. Louis: Cardinal baseball and News Talk STL. Play ball! Cardinal baseball opening day, March 26th, backed by our hometown favorites, Best Buy Flooring, Gemini Wealth Management, and Whistle Pig Outdoors.
Cardinal baseball.
Hey, Tony Colombo here with Tim Jones for our friends Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway, the #1 home selling team in the St. Louis area, and I can say that from firsthand experience. My wife and I were blown away from the results that we saw from working with Rodney and Jen, from selling our old home faster and for more money than we thought possible to finding our family's perfect new home. They over-delivered every step of the way, and right now it's still very much a seller's market. So, Tim, for folks that have been thinking about selling their home, it's a perfect time to call the Wallners.
That's right, Tony. And don't forget, they're licensed in both Missouri and Illinois, so no matter where you are in the metro area, you can put St. Louis's #1 home selling team to work for you. The Wallners' experience and work ethic, second to none. And of course, the numbers speak for themselves. The Wallners sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor. Right now, they're working with so many qualified buyers, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call the Wallners now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD for the Wallner home selling team.
Jeffco Patriot Radio.
Hey guys, Billy Crow here from Jeffco Patriot Radio. As we follow the important issues facing Jefferson County, if you want to stay informed on Jeffco politics, especially in this all-important midterm election year, make sure to tune in this and every Sunday at high noon here on News Talk STL.
Jeffco Patriot Radio.
If it's a big story in Jefferson County, you'll hear about it on Jeffco Patriot Radio. Sundays at noon on News Talk STL.
The Herzog Tomorrow Foundation provides private school tuition scholarships through Missouri's new Most Scholars program to cover the cost of accessible, high-quality schooling.
Hi, this is Myella Esser with the Herzog Tomorrow Foundation. Our private school tuition scholarships wouldn't be possible without the support of generous Missouri taxpayers. If you're a Missouri taxpayer interested in redirecting your tax dollars and sending them to Missouri students in need of a better education, please contact me at herzogmostscholars.org.
Better education for students creates a better tomorrow for all. Learn how you can help provide a better education for Missouri students at herzogmostscholars.org. That's herzogmostscholars.org. Also, sign up for The Lion, an initiative of the Herzog Foundation that carries articles covering a wide range of issues facing American families and culture. herzogfoundation.com. That's herzogfoundation.com.
Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
All right, happy opening day, St. Louis.
Happy opening day. Actually, I have something for this.
Do you? There we go. You know, I am such a baseball nerd. Back in high school, so this would have been back in, obviously the 80s. I had a cassette. I had a cassette that was baseball's greatest hits, an entire album of baseball songs.
You know, when you say that, I just imagine the actual sound of the ball hitting the bats for the best home runs, but that works too.
Songs. It was like John Fogerty, center field, and Abbott and Costello, who's on first. And then there were, of course, back in the, 40s, 50s, they would make songs about players. Jumpin' Joe DiMaggio, and then there was the song called Willie Mickey and the Duke, and there's a song that is all about the Chicago Cubs.
Ooh.
It was called A Dying Cubs Fan's Last Request. It was really funny. And so I had this entire album of just baseball stuff, which probably surprises nobody in St. Louis.
I would be more surprised to find out you didn't have all this obscure baseball memorabilia.
And I would put that thing in my car, man. I'd put that thing in my cassette deck, and my Renault Fuego that I had in high school, which completely fell apart because it was a piece of crap car. But I would listen to that, driving around, in addition to my other Striper cassettes and whatnot. So
it must have been a very interesting time to be a passenger along the ride with you, just based on your listening habits and things like this.
There were sometimes people didn't want to ride with me. They're like, "We'll meet you there." I wonder why. I don't understand. It couldn't have been my music. Just saying. All right, 5:50 right now. No, okay. So St. Louis opening day. This is a thing, man. If you are new to St. Louis, there is usually a push. Somebody says in the city, this should be designated an actual official recognized holiday.
Oh.
The home opener for the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, this year, the home opener happens to be the season opener. It doesn't always work that way. So the Tampa Rays are in town for this one. The game is at 3:15. That's the first pitch of the actual game. People are getting going now, man. I mean, they're going to open everything up at Ballpark Village probably within a few hours. And so
3:15 on a school day.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's going to be kids not in school.
Oh,
I would
imagine.
There's going to be kids. Now, I actually am hearing that it might not be a sellout at Busch Stadium. So that's possible that there could be some residual frustration from the last couple of years. Typically, even if we know that the team's not likely to have a pennant run, that there's still a big turnout. And I'm sure it'll be a big turnout, but I have not heard that it's a sellout yet, which is really unusual for any Cardinals. So there's a lot on the Cardinals this year, and I mean the whole organization, not just the team on the field, but the front office, not to win fans back. The fans are still there. Just the fans, there are some fans still holding back their wallet a little bit, saying, all right, show me that you are going to appreciate the fan base more than you have in the years past. And I think the current crop in the front office, I actually think is, I think they're really working to do that. So bottom line is that opening day is something you can just go to and treat it like a holiday. It really, regardless of what happens in the game, treat it like a holiday. St. Louis probably has the best opening day traditions in all, not even just baseball, all of sports.
Oh.
With the parade and the Clydesdales and the Hall of Famers and everything. And people get out there for the ceremonies are going to last over an hour before the game. And it's basically to watch people being paraded around the perimeter of the ball field and just waving at, Ozzie Smith and everybody who's the Hall of Famer is still there. And Al Hrabosky is going to, he'll probably be down there. Of course, he's doing the broadcasting stuff too. And then the Clydesdales, which everybody loves the Clydesdales. And so then you get the game going. So it's going to be pretty electric out there. And it's going to be hot as Hades during the game. It's going to be over 90 today. And then it gets cool again. It's going to be hot. So, I mean, if you're going to go out there, listen, enjoy your drinks, man. But make sure that you're mixing in a glass of water or a bottle of water in between maybe other things you're drinking at the ball game, which rumor has it the drinking's already begun. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the city for a couple of years now, and nobody has told me what a spectacle opening day was, or else I would have actually, because you're actually wearing your jersey right now.
I am, yeah.
You're repping the Cardinals right now, and I'm unfortunately not. But
you're repping Vermin Supreme right now, with your T-shirt.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I'm glad you appreciate the humor of that. Nobody's ever informed me what an actual spectacle this is.
Nuts.
And I would also like to point out that reports are showing that they have actually filled in quite a few potholes in the area to make it more accessible to vehicle traffic in anticipation of opening day. So, I mean, if you're interested in going out there, you're not going to have to worry about your front bumper coming off.
Yeah, we got that. What he's referencing is going to be in the news dump here. That was crazy on I-55 yesterday. Just nuts.
Oh, I spoke too soon.
Yeah, just crazy. So, yeah, I mean, opening day is bigger than just a sports story. I mean, I'll just tell you right now, we've got the news dump coming up in about 10 minutes. That's the lead story. I mean, that's what St. Louis is talking about. And here's the thing. I'm here for it. Every once in a while, we got to say, you know what's going on around town? Something we can all kind of enjoy.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens on the field, something we can enjoy. Matthew Liberatore is the starting pitcher today. Good season last year. He's earned the ball to start on the bump for the Cardinals. Gonna be a great day for St. Louis. Just again, be careful because it's gonna be hot, and we are not used to that. I mean, think about it. A week ago, I came to work. It was 20 degrees.
It really was not that long ago that it was quite literally below freezing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nuts. Just nuts. Just crazy. Okay, a couple other things going on here. CPAC is happening starting today.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's down in Dallas this time. CPAC used to be such a big deal for conservatives, for Republicans. Last several years, not so much. And, they've got a few speakers that, and I know a couple of people are speaking there. But they've got a couple of big names. The president, by the way, announced he's not going to be appearing at CPAC this year because obviously the stuff with Iran and everything, which makes perfect sense.
Good call.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm looking, Susie and I were looking at the speakers list yesterday morning after the show, and I'm just like, I've never heard of most of these people. And then there's a few others you're like, oh, good God, why is that person there? And then there's a few others who are good speakers. But CPAC used to be like the thing. It was such a coveted spot, to just be on C-SPAN or on, one of the streaming channels speaking at CPAC. And I just don't know that it's that prestigious anymore. So I don't know. I mean, if you're going to watch it on C-SPAN, let me know if something cool happens, but I'm not even probably going to follow it like I've done in the past.
Well, and especially with how critical these midterms are,
Yeah.
you think that they would do more to promote it and get the right voices in place.
CPAC has had some reputation stains lately because of a few things, so it's a little. They may have put out invitations they got no to.
Columbo here for my friends at Bluff City Outdoors in Alton. The knowledgeable staff at Bluff City has served the St. Louis outdoor community for decades, and they can take care of all your bow hunting needs, all your trapping needs, all your fishing needs, and more. Plus, while you're there, you can schedule a trip with a local fishing guide and shoot in their archery range. Bluff City Outdoors is open 7 days a week, 1 mile east of Fast Eddie's at 2813 East Broadway in Alton. Follow them on Facebook and at bluffcityoutdoors.com.
Hey there, News Talk friends. Chris Cooper here, your financial friend with Serenity Wealth Management. Joining us in the Serenity Wealth Now studio this weekend, we have special guests Ken and Jen with the Showcase Lawn and Landscaping Company. We're going to talk a little bit about the nutrients your lawn needs to have a successful and thriving season this year. So tune in Sunday morning, 9 a.m. right here on News Talk STL, or check us out on Serenity Wealth Now social media outlets.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.
Life's legal challenges deserve experienced representation. For over 15 years, Cole Combs Attorney at Law has been serving St. Charles and surrounding counties with comprehensive legal expertise. From tax preparation and estate planning to family law and criminal defense, Cole delivers personalized solutions for your unique situation. You have traffic tickets, need a business formation, real estate matters, one call will handle it all. Cole O. Combs Attorney at Law. Call 636-949-0010 extension 3 today, or visit colecombs-law.com.
Steph's Pizza. You know the name. They're famous for their St. Louis-style pizza. But don't forget their party platters for the holidays. Steph's sandwiches, pasta, and pizza are always big hits at any get-together. And the party platters make it easy. 3 great locations, St. Peter's on Juggerman, in St. Charles on Zumbel, and their newest location in Lake St. Louis at 111 Pondfort Trail. Check them out at Steph'sPizza.com, Steph'sPizza.com. And remember, tonight's a good night for Steph's Pizza.
If you've turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. 800-439-7851. That's 800-439-7851.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at
NewsTalkSTL.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. There's been a major verdict in a California social media trial. Here's Lisa Dwyer.
A California jury found both Meta and YouTube liable in a lawsuit aiming to hold social media platforms responsible for harm to children using their services. The plaintiff was awarded $3 million in damages. The 20-year-old woman, identified as KGM in documents, or Kaylee as her lawyers have called her during the trial, says her early use of social media addicted her to the technology and exacerbated her mental health struggles. This is the second verdict this week against Meta after a jury in New Mexico determined the company harms children's mental health and safety.
The Iranians have rejected a 15-point U.S. proposal for a ceasefire in the ongoing war. As diplomatic efforts continue, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt warns President Trump is not backing down in the war.
But if Iran fails to accept the reality of the current moment, if they fail to understand that they have been defeated militarily and will continue to be, President Trump will ensure they are hit harder than they have ever been hit before. President Trump does not bluff, and he is prepared to unleash hell.
Meanwhile, sirens sounded in central Israel today as Iran launched more missiles. Pressure is mounting on Congress to end the funding shutdown. It's resulted in travel disruptions, missed paychecks, and even warnings of airport closures. But lawmakers have yet to resolve the underlying issue of reforming the Trump administration's immigration enforcement operations. Idaho lawmakers are considering a bill that would make it a crime for transgender people to use the bathroom that matches their gender identity. The measure would include privately owned businesses. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Sight and Sound Films presents Benjamin Franklin, Reverend Whitfield, A Match Made in Heaven, or just a deal made in a print shop. Two voices.
My friends, do you want to be free?
One idea. The Constitution needs to speak to the heart of these people. A new nation.
You are the lightning bolt, George. I am just the lightning rod. And who is the source, then?
A Great Awakening. In theaters this Easter. agreatawakening.com for details. Rated PG-13.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
On First Alert 4 meteorologist Chance Koch with your First Alert forecast, looking at a record-breaking high this afternoon, back towards 93 degrees. Looking at some gusty winds up to about 25 miles per hour, also going to be possible. Then late tonight into Friday morning, going to be tracking a possibility of some strong to severe storms, prompting a First Alert weather day. That ends at 3 a.m. into Friday morning. Temperatures fall off significantly, looking at highs into the mid-50s. Then we'll slowly start to warm up towards the upcoming weekend, looking dry. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Koch.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Business owners, download your free playbook for financial clarity at serenitywealthbiz.com. That's serenitywealthbiz.com.
Jamie Allman here, tossing and turning over retirement worries. You're not alone. 3 out of 4 Americans share your concern about having enough saved. But here's the thing. A comfortable retirement isn't out of reach, even if you're planning for 30 or 40 years ahead. Every day, Jeff Portman from the Gemini Wealth Group helps people avoid the critical mistakes that can derail their retirement. Build your path to financial confidence. Visit GeminiWealthGroup.com or call Jeff directly at 314-888-0123.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Spring has sprung at Daniel's Farming Greenhouses on Joggerman and St. Peters. Discover our breathtaking 55,000 square feet of greenhouses featuring 8,000 hanging baskets, hundreds of perennials, and 100,000 pots of colorful annuals. From vegetable plants to premium grass seed, mulch to herbs, our knowledgeable staff is ready to answer all your questions. Start spring off right with pansies, potted tulips, and everything your garden craves. Daniel's Farming Greenhouses. Visit us today on Juggerman or online at danielsfarmandgreenhouses.com.
On the next, Larry Connors, USA.
The story behind the story. Only by God's grace, most of us didn't die for stupid things when we were kids.
Larry Connors, USA.
Now, weeknights 6 until 8.
On News Talk STL. Mike Ferguson.
I'm not like the rest of you. I don't make mistakes.
Susie Moore.
What you're telling me doesn't sound logical, my dear.
Get up! Can't you hear the alarm?
Get up, St. Louis.
You need to get to go. I need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up! This is your cousin Bob.
All right, St. Louis's unofficial holiday is here. Happy opening day, everybody.
Happy OD.
That's right. And 2 of the 3 of us in here are dressed for the occasion.
Yeah, what's up with you?
I'm an out-of-towner. I did not realize what a big deal this was.
Oh, my gosh.
As much as people associate the Cubs with Chicago, it's not like a major national holiday.
I know. All right.
It's a big deal.
It's it's like Minnesota, only in California. And that the fraud could be as big, and it possibly could be even bigger.
Oh, it's probably bigger.
Oh, yeah, totally. Also, take your pick of sports to watch today. Baseball, basketball, hockey. We got it all going on, man.
Mm-hmm.
So there is plenty of reason to just call off of work and go to the sports bar and just hang out with friends.
Oh. Wish I could.
I'll write you a note.
That won't help me.
Okay, 6:06. Let's go and get started with the news dump here.
The Morning News Dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks. The Morning News Dump.
All right, the opening day festivities begin this morning at 10:30 in St. Louis. That's when the pep rally starts at Ballpark Village. The gates open at Busch Stadium at noon, and the pregame ceremonies start at 2:30. First game of the season against the Rays. That gets underway at 3:15. It is an season opening ceremony unlike anything else in the country. Any sport, you name it. It really is the best here. That's not me just being a homer because I'm a St. Louisan. That is just the way that it is. All right, so what's 6:20? Get your reflections and thoughts on that, and also a couple warnings. Police actually have a couple heads up that they want to give you. We'll do that around 6:20 here as well. Okay, there's actually other news that are happening, like I don't know, the DHS funding thing and the airport thing. So I guess we'll talk about some actual news stuff here. Congress still not breaking that stalemate over funding of DHS. That partial shutdown. We're in week 7 now? I think it is something like that.
In 40 days.
Yeah, Democrats want to fund all the agencies except
ICE.
And they want a bunch of reforms that they say are going to protect Americans from federal law enforcement. Their words, not mine. This is as those agents are being deployed to airports to help the TSA. All right. Republican Senator Eric Schmidt from right here in Missouri was on the Ingram Angle on Fox, and obviously he's still blaming the Democrats for the entire problem, including TSA agents among those who are not getting paid.
They care more about illegal immigrants than they do about the traveling public, these TSA workers. And my dad works 7 days a week in the midnight shift. Most people cannot afford to miss a paycheck, let alone 3 or 4.
And, of course, Democratic leadership rejecting the White House's most recent proposal, which included some ID requirements for ICE because Democrats, among other things, they want a complete ban on agents wearing masks, and they want full judicial warrants before making any arrests, as opposed to what's being done now.
No.
Yeah.
No can do.
Yeah.
That literally upends the entire immigration process.
That's the idea.
I know. Not happening.
I don't think they would disagree with your statement there. They would go, yes, of course. Yeah.
Nope.
All right, at an annual fundraiser for the National Republican Congressional Committee, this was in Washington, D.C., President Trump talking about the military action against Iran and addressing the impacts that the conflict has had and still could have on the economy.
I thought that the energy prices, oil price would go up higher. I thought the stock market would go somewhat lower. But it didn't matter to me. It's short term.
And the president says that Iran is negotiating with the U.S. The regime in Iran, according to multiple reports, has rejected an American ceasefire proposal, and they are demanding full control over the Strait of Hormuz, which, of course, is a critical oil trading waterway in the region.
Yeah. I mean, again, who is it? Who is saying that?
Somebody there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, matter of fact, about an hour, we'll talk to Ward Clark, your colleague at RedState, because we're not even really sure who's in charge.
No, we are not.
That which is probably part of the plan of the U.S. and Israel. If you completely destabilize the leadership, then you've got a better chance of winning the war, obviously. All right, and speaking of which, shipping that package through the post office could get more expensive.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, this is not about the stamp increase that they're asking for, which we just talked about. According to CNBC, the USPS is asking regulators to allow an 8% fuel surcharge on package delivery to cover the increased costs of gas. Now, if that's approved, it would apply to Priority Mail Express, Priority Mail, Ground Advantage, and Parcel Select deliveries. The request is to impose that 8% surcharge starting April 26th through January 17th.
So that's in response to the current?
Right. Because of the increase in the gas price.
But then it would have an expiration date?
Yes, January 17th of next year.
Okay.
Yeah, assuming that things went back to
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but whether or not they get that approval remains to be seen.
Sure.
Yeah, and that would not apply to your letters.
Nope.
So first-class mail would not be affected, just the actual parcel shipping stuff. Okay, it's another Minnesota, just this time in California. Yeah, House Oversight Committee, which is a very busy committee right now.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they're investigating allegations of hospice fraud in the Golden State, with a specific focus on Los Angeles County. Chairman James Comer was on America Reports on Fox, saying that according to a state audit, so not even the federal audit, the state audit, $3.5 billion with a B dollars in federal hospice care funding has been defrauded and has been stolen.
There are clearly hundreds of people registered to one address that are billing for thousands of people on hospice. It's not possible It's not possible to have that many patients. It's not possible to have that big of a claim in one county.
One of the reasons we know there's a problem is there was a whistleblower, according to the congressman, who's come forward talking about the fraud and actually saying that the governor's office knew about the fraud, which the governor denies, of course.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's been busy doing other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's you know how much time it takes to get your hair to look that darn good?
Well, and then like podcasting and traveling overseas to denigrate the current leadership. And, you know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into being Gavin Newsom.
But that hair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's just gifted.
Yeah. You know, go with your strength.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Did you see where he would like decided to embrace the idea that he looks like Patrick Bateman?
No, I did not see that.
That was so bizarre.
It was the most bizarre thing ever.
And crazy thing about that, not only that he wants to compare himself to a psycho killer from a movie, is that somebody did a face splice of him and Ellen DeGeneres. They look like twins.
Ellen DeGeneres?
Ellen DeGeneres and Gavin Newsom.
See, now I'm like morbidly curious.
I could kind of see that. I could kind of see that.
I'll try to throw it up on the stream.
Yeah, I've never thought of Ellen DeGeneres as that good looking of a dude, but
someone told Trump that he kind of looked like Elvis. And in response to that, Gavin had to get in on the action. And he's like, well, for years people have said I look like Patrick Bateman. It's like American Psycho?
Yeah.
Murderer guy?
Okay. So let's run down a rabbit hole. Have you ever been told you look like somebody, like a celebrity out there?
Helen Hunt.
Helen Hunt? Mm-hmm. Okay, I can see that a little bit. I can see a little bit. I've been told a few times, like when I was younger, Kurt Russell.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
When I was younger, people compared me to Matthew Illard.
He was Shaggy.
Scream.
Yeah.
Scream, and wasn't he Shaggy in one of the Scooby-Doo movies?
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah. And then as I got older, people started comparing me to the fat version of people, started searching that
out.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway telling dozens of businesses to stop selling cannabis and marijuana products. The cease and desist letters went to businesses that, according to the AG's office, are not licensed dispensaries. 18 of those are to St. Louis area businesses, mostly in the city, but there were a couple in Maplewood and one in Baldwin as well.
Gotta play by the rules.
Yeah, and it goes even deeper than that. They actually say that some of the products are suspect as well here. So, yeah. All right, a pothole on I-55 became so big that it disabled multiple cars on Wednesday. People were hitting it so hard.
I saw that headline. I haven't seen any pictures or video, but
yeah. So that happened in the southbound lane near the Arsenal Street exit. So you're talking about Soulard. So right there by the big brewery, basically, is where that is. MoDOT responded. Traffic is back to normal, but they being MoDOT and police are saying be extra careful when driving in that area.
Yikes.
All right, the Sweet 16 round of the NCAA tournament starts today. Illinois has the late game tonight playing Houston. They're actually in Houston, so home court advantage to Houston. Tip-off is scheduled for 9:05. The Illini are the third seed in the South Regional. The Cougars are the number 2 seed, so this is exactly what they thought was going to happen in the brackets. The game's going to be on TBS at last check, unless they've changed it, but as of this morning, it still said TBS. Blues are back on home ice tonight, hosting the Sharks at Enterprise. So the puck drops at 7. That game's going to be on FanDuel. Blues have won their last 2 games. They have won 4 of their last 6 games. So you can watch the Cardinals at 3:15. Then you can watch the Blues at 7. And then maybe right before the end of the third period, you can go watch the Illini.
Lots of choices.
Yep.
Get up, can't you hear the alarm? Get up, this is your cousin God.
Well, there you go again, listening to Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Susie Moore here to talk to you about windows. You don't really think about windows. You just look through them. You don't really think about them at all until you're thinking, oh, I need new windows. And if you do, you probably want to check out Window World. Window World windows are one of only 2 replacement windows with Good Housekeeping seal of approval. And they're ranked number 1 in the country for the number of windows sold by Qualified Remodeler magazine. In just over 20 years in business, they've improved the look and thermal efficiency of more than 80,000 homes in St. Louis. And the St. Louis location has been owned and operated and managed by born and raised St. Louis residents for more than 23 years. Window World products are durable, they're secure, they're energy efficient, and they're beautiful. And they use a double-strength glass that's not commonly used in replacement windows. Plus, you get excuse me, I'm getting choked up about it. You get a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. Window World can also help with siding and doors, and their customer service department is available 7 days a week, which is something a lot of their competitors cannot say. In fact, over half of their appointments come from repeat customers or referrals, which says a lot about their commitment to customer service. Right now, Window World is offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. So if you are thinking it might be time for windows, you want to call and get a free in-home estimate. Just go to or call 1-800-GET-WINDOWS or visit windowworldstlouis.com. That's 1-800-GET-WINDOWS.
If you love your pet, which I know you do, then they deserve the excellent treatment and care they'll receive at Pacific Animal Hospital in Pacific, Missouri, a full-service veterinarian facility. Originally built and grown by my dad, Dr. Bill Jones, a new generation of wonderful veterinarians and staff at Pacific continue to provide outstanding medical, surgical, dental, boarding, and grooming services for your favorite furry friends. Our family entrusts the care of our pets only to the experienced docs and staff at Pacific Animal Hospital. You should too. Call them today, 636-257-2100, 24/7 at PacificVets.com, PacificVets.com.
JC's Wayback Machine.
This week we recognize the 43rd anniversary of the release of the ZZ Top Eliminator album, along with a surprising St. Louis connection. Plus my review of the new Ryan Gosling movie, Project Hail Mary. And our A-list interview is with Phil Collins, who tells the backstory of the naming of his album, No Jacket Required. All brought to you by the Weber Automotive Group.
It's JC's Wayback Machine. Every Saturday night, 6 to 9. On News Talk STL.
1949, the last time a Republican held the top post in St. Louis City. A gallon of milk was 84 cents, and streetcars ran down Grand Avenue. Unfortunately, St. Louis City streets are no longer the epicenter of family and business life. In the 80 years of Democrat control, our city has been on a steady decline.
Hello, Kirk Ilsinger, chairman of the Republican Party for the city of St. Louis, and we believe it is our duty to provide a different path forward. I invite you to our meetings the first Thursday of every month. Learn more at stl-gop.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Hi, it's Randy Tobler here. Pour a big cup of coffee and catch my show every Saturday morning from 6 to 9. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning here on News Talk STL.
All right, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I'll say it later on today, too. Happy opening day, everybody.
Happy opening day.
Woo. Yep.
Woohoo.
Okay, so here's the thing. No, we're not going to win the pennant this year. Okay?
Why not?
No. But opening day in St. Louis is still something really, really special, and it's like just for the whole region. I mean, it's like one of those days of reprieve where we can just for the day we can all stop hating each other just for the day.
Yeah,
we can go do it again tomorrow, but not today.
I have a thought on that, by the way.
Yeah, well, I'll get to that here in a second here. So, this is one of the biggest party days of the year in St. Louis.
It is.
I mean, the one thing that the St. Louis can do is party.
We do know how to do that.
I mean, you think about it. I mean, sometimes it goes awry. 314 Day didn't go so well this year. Mardi Gras, which would have been bigger if it weren't for the crappy weather that rolled through on Mardi Gras.
St. Patty's Day.
4th
of July.
Just massive parties. We do like to party because sometimes, especially if you live in the city, you just you're tempted to drink a lot.
Maybe.
Just saying. But this is one of the reasons. I mean, it's 6:20. I guarantee you somebody out there is already pre-gaming.
I'm sure they are. They got the grill fired up.
I am telling you, somebody's like waiting outside the door of the Great Grizzly Bear in Soulard, like, when does the shuttle get me to the station? I'll have a beer.
Exactly.
And they're like, we're not open for a few more hours. Pipe down. Okay. So police are obviously, the city's obviously saying, hey, opening day, traffic's going to be crowded, that sort of thing. They've got some extra ramps like into the stadium, security lines and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, when my parents would take me to Old Bush, which is what I grew up going to, was Old Bush.
Same.
Yeah, and you remember if you got there super early, you could basically go. I mean, they would open the gates hours early, and whenever we would come in to go to a game, because I lived when I was in grade school, I was in Decatur, and then high school I was in Camp Point, which is just outside Quincy. So we would come, once or twice a year down to Cardinals games. And that was back then when you could they would let you down like to the
you
front
get out of the
row,
field.
and you could ask for autographs. And so that's what
I had some as a little kid.
Yeah, me too. And that was the thing is you could watch the teams doing batting practice. You could talk to players. They didn't have the netting up. You could do all that.
Right.
And we've lost something with that. Now I understand the liability, and these players are so freaking strong at this point. I mean, that ball comes off a foul ball. It can go 200 feet and still be traveling at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So I get it, even though I kind of think we've lost something with all of that. But they don't let you down. The kids come down, to the side and ask for autographs and talk to the players and get pictures and all that sort of stuff, which really is too bad.
It is.
But today's one of those unusual days where you can get in the stadium 3 hours before the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the pregame ceremonies don't even start till 2:30, but they're opening up the gates at noon.
Right.
So you can meander all around and hang out, and there's all kinds of food. And I mean, you're basically looking at an amusement park before the game.
Well, and not only that, but this is the rare instance where it's going to be warm and sunny. It's going to be hot and sunny. Normally, it's like 40 degrees and misting rain. So you're there and you're excited, but you're kind of cold and kind of miserable.
Yeah, it's going to be like 91 today or something.
And then it drops down to 26 tomorrow.
Right. Here we are, Midwest.
Hello.
Okay, so there was an interesting warning that the police were putting out.
Oh.
They say, watch out for fraudulent parking lot attendants.
Oh.
They said, if you've got somebody who's just set up, apparently there were problems over the last year or two of some enterprising con artist, and they would find some, basically dumpy non-professional parking lot or some business parking lot that's closed that day. They would just put their lawn chair up there, and then they would put up a sign and say parking $15 or parking $20 or whatever,
or 30
or whatever it is. Yeah. Take your money and you're paying to park, and you're just handing some dude $20.
Right.
And so they're like, listen, if there's no vest, if there's no like permanent signage, if you be skeptical of this. Otherwise, you could be just handing a dude $20 because he's enterprising, like people are used to paying.
Yeah.
So make sure you know. And the funny part is I'm like, that is awful. But at the same time, I'm a little impressed with the hustle.
Yeah, that is some good hustle.
I mean, I don't want to encourage it, but it's pretty creative thinking. But still, watch out for that.
Definitely.
Security at the airport, stadium. They're if you're carrying like bags and stuff like that, it's going to be searched. You want the clear bags.
Right.
I don't
Check
think
out the website for the parameters of what you can and can't bring.
Right.
So.
You're not bringing in a backpack.
No.
Let's put it that way.
No.
And so here's the thing, though, is that this is one of those things in St. Louis where you can get there as early as you want and go to Ballpark Village, and have a meal, have a drink. The pep rally starts there. And everybody's going to be fun. They've got a bunch of music and all this kind of stuff. And so it's really just one of those really cool days. But understand, downtown's going to be really crowded.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is the one thing I miss about working downtown because my office building was kind of on the north end of town, but I could be parked in my building and then walk down to the stadium.
Well, where we had the original studio here for the station. We started downtown. We were
That was a little bit of a walk, though, to Busch Stadium.
I did it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, when there was a noon game or something, I would get done with my show, do my post-production, then do my pre-production for the next day. I just walked down. It was like, I don't know, I think on foot it was like 1.25 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
Now there was a metro thing I could have jumped on and taken that in
45
seconds. I'm in there, but I would just walk down if it was a nice day and do that.
No, I was just 6 blocks away.
I'm gonna eat a bunch of nachos and stuff anyway, so I might as well get my steps in.
Walk them off.
Yeah. But today it's going to be nuts. And here's the other thing with a 3:15 game, and I didn't even think about this till I read the statement from the cops. That means the game's going to be over around 5:30, 5:45, assuming there's no extra innings or anything like that, because they're really trying to get the game going.
True.
So that means rush hour.
Right in the middle of rush hour.
Yeah, rush hour getting out of town is going to suck.
Yes, it is.
It's going to suck both directions, going across the bridge into Illinois. It's going to suck going into the county. It's going to suck going into St. Charles. It's going to suck. So if you're going to the game, what you may be tempted to do is, you know what, you're already there. Just go get dinner there. Wait it out.
Yeah. You got potholes to dodge, you got traffic, you got all those things. This is going to be a little bit of I don't know.
If you're doing it, just think of it as a vacation day. Just take the whole day.
I like the idea. Yeah. I wish I could.
Just saying, to do that. And downtown merchants will thank you for that.
Yeah.
For that. But yeah, speaking of the pothole thing, oh my gosh.
Yeah, did you see pictures or
just the traffic cams from MoDOT?
Oh, okay,
or
yeah.
whatever they call it, the Scout system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, and it was basically a bunch of police, lights, and they were shutting down these lanes, and then there was like 2 or 3 cars that were off to the side, but apparently this pothole just off of the Arsenal exit, or on-ramp actually from Arsenal, that these cars hit this thing so hard that I'm like, cars are broken now.
Oh, God, what a nightmare.
Yeah. Have you ever hit something like big on the road?
Oh, yeah.
It is scary because it sounds like this massive explosion going on.
I hit a truck tire once.
Oh, I see. I hit a tire once too.
Yeah.
Scary as hell.
Oh, yeah. Well, it knocked out both the left tires of my car and on the bridge. It was scary as I'll get out. But yeah, hitting that moment when you hit that, it's
and the thing is every time you hit one of these potholes, the pothole gets a little bit bigger, because of all that force. And I-55 right there, you're going 65, 70. Yeah, so I mean, there's some cars that
a nightmare.
They may be totaled. There may be some axles broken. There may be that's not a good situation. So MoDOT got out there. I know that they did some patching on it, but now you got to worry about, okay, was that a pothole? Was that a sinkhole?
Well, yeah. They just filled in the one in, where was that? It was in downtown.
It was right by the stadium.
Ooh.
That was there for a couple weeks because that thing that kind of escaped a lot of the radar, but they did get that.
Got to beware the hellmouth.
Yeah, and so that's just part of living in this area. I mean, look at 64 and 270 right now. I was driving back from my baseball practice yesterday, and they're maybe not even halfway done. This thing's going to be years.
Yeah.
That's just what we got to get used to there for a little while.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. So bottom line is downtown is be patient. Get there early, meander around.
Have fun.
Yeah, just relax. Make everything, all your worries will be back tomorrow, but don't deal with them today.
Yeah, that's good advice.
You can do that. You can decompress for the day, and just enjoy the game. And once again, get a lot of water in between your other drinks.
Oh, definitely do that. I have a dumb question.
Then I probably have a dumb answer.
Who are we playing?
The Rays.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. How optimistic are you? Because I know you said that we're probably going to finish dead last in the season, but is this one where you think we can actually take them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that any particular game, the Cardinals have a good group of young talent. They're just, I mean, you put them up against, Milwaukee, or I hate to say it, the Cubs or the Yankees or Dodgers or something like that. They always call it a rebuilding stage. But they've been really aggressive in going to get the players who aren't going to win the pennant this year, but there's no game that they can't win on any given night or any given day. But they're looking for the ones like, okay, let them take their lumps, let them get the experience, let them get seasoned, because we expect to be in the playoffs next year. We expect to win the playoffs maybe the year after that or something like that. That's the mindset. But yeah, it's
room to grow.
There's that, and opening day, man, Cardinals. They show up. Those new players are going to get out there and see the festivities like, oh.
They're going to be stoked.
Yeah.
Flashback Friday is just that magical time of week where we get to, well, you guys get to, I wasn't alive, but you guys get to relive the magic of 80s music.
It's true.
And I checked my inbox, and I have a suspicious lack of 80s
Uh-oh.
requests. So I'm calling for all of you out there right now. You know better than I do what was good in the 80s. Send me your 80s bump music request, Jerome at NewsTalkSTL.com, and let me know when you listen so you can hear your request.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Someone in that control room is out of control.
On NewsTalk STL. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
On First Alert 4 meteorologist Chance Scotch with your First Alert forecast, looking at a record-breaking high this afternoon, back towards 93 degrees. Looking at some gusty winds up to about 25 miles per hour, also going to be possible. Then late tonight into Friday morning, going to be tracking a possibility of some strong to severe storms, prompting a First Alert weather day. That ends at 3 a.m. into Friday morning. Temperatures fall off significantly, looking at highs into the mid-50s. Then we'll slowly start to warm up towards the upcoming weekend, looking dry. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist James Scott.
Hey, looking for the ultimate escape? Well, welcome to Santino's, where luxury meets authenticity. Hey, Jamie Allman here, inviting you to browse hundreds of premium cigars in the walk-in humidor, including rare aged cigars, and explore 700 bottles of whiskey. And Santino's offers authentic Sicilian cuisine prepared from scratch. Whether it's their non-smoking wine room, gaming lounge with custom poker tables, or event spaces perfect for any celebration, it's Santino's, just off 55 at the Imperial Exit, SantinoCigarCocktails.com.
Simply Health with Dr. Brian Deloney.
Statins lower cholesterol, but do you know how they actually work inside your body? And what if there were natural approaches that work through completely different biological pathways? This week, we're diving into cholesterol science you probably never learned. Don't miss it.
Simply Health, Saturdays at noon on News Talk STL. To find out more about Simply Health Integrated Medical, log on to simplyhealthintegrated.com.
Tired of settling for generic fishing gear? Say hello to Bullseye Bait and Tackle, O'Fallon's one-stop shop for serious anglers. Live bait, premium tackle, rods, reels, and an unbeatable selection of lures from top brands like Megabass, Zoom, and Berkley. Whether you're after bass, catfish, crappie, or bluegill, they've got the gear to help you land the big one. Plus, their expert team, led by Mark and Liz, provides rod and reel repair services. Bullseye Bait and Tackle, 266 Fort Zumwalt Square, or at bullseyebaitantackle.net.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Download the all-new News Talk STL app.
Love the all-new NewsTalk STL app.
On my way to work in the morning.
Usually I'm in the car.
I listen on the app in my car every morning going to work.
Download the News Talk STL app and listen anytime, anywhere.
Hey, Chris Arps from the Tim Jones and Chris Arps Show. Make sure that you're listening to our show this afternoon from 4 to 6. Now back to the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show.
Hey, guess who's back this weekend?
Back again?
Back again.
Who?
No Kings is back.
Oh. Did we get a king?
Well, technically, we might have one coming.
Oh, yeah?
You didn't hear about that?
I don't think so.
For a visit.
Yeah, whoever the current king of...
King Charles.
So King Charles...
Oh, is he coming to America?
To talk to Congress for the first time since 1991.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
interesting.
So I didn't realize I summoned them because I did put a
Yeah.
post out there saying, hey, no Kings people, do your thing. But
Right.
I guess they're back for other reasons.
Because the rest of us celebrate No Kings on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
It's true.
Just
This
saying.
year especially.
Yeah.
250 years,
250,
man.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get to that in just a second because I looked at the No Kings website this morning and there are several demonstrations planned around the St. Louis area.
They got a website?
They do. Yep. Yeah. So check that out here. We'll get to that in just a second. Okay. But first, though, it seems like we have this sort of thing that happens every year. Okay. So, you win the championship, you get invited to the White House, right?
Sure.
Well, now that's always people want you to make a political statement.
Will they
out of it.
or won't they?
Right. So illegal immigration rights activists are calling for the LA Dodgers to refuse their upcoming White House visit invitation.
Okay.
So I found the story. This is from Fox 11 in Los Angeles. So this is the local news there in Los Angeles. The reporter is Laura Diaz with the story.
Wednesday afternoon, protesters carrying picket signs gathered at the famed Vin Scully Way leading into Dodger Stadium. From the air and ground, about 30 vocal demonstrators were visible. Organizers said the baseball team should not go to the White House to celebrate their World Series ring like they did last year. Why? They cited President Trump's immigration policies, where sweeping ICE raids saw suspected undocumented migrants rounded up in cities like L.A., a fact they said angered the Dodger fan base, which is heavily Latino. Public response was mixed as to whether the boys in blue should boycott the White House.
Okay, so first of all, Los Angeles has, 10 million people in the area, something like that?
yeah.
30 of them were demonstrating, according to Laura Diaz's report
Representing.
there. Yeah. And Clayton Kershaw, of course, he's now retired, but the soon-to-be Hall of Fame pitcher, maybe one of the top 5 pitchers in Los Angeles Dodgers history. And that's saying something because they had like Sandy Koufax and a bunch of other. Okay, so he was asked about it, and he said, I went to the White House when the Biden administration invited us for winning. I'm going with the he's like he basically just like goes, this is stupid.
Yep.
You get invited to the White House. It doesn't matter who the president is. You take the honor and you go do it.
Right.
And I thought that's about as perfect of an answer as you're going to find.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean that should be the answer always, and it's irrespective of who is in the White House. And the whole thing about trying to make it into something, I love the fact that in recent years there's been this pushback, or recent months maybe, for most of the athletes are like, not biting,
right?
Not playing that game.
Yeah, because basically, and also the reason I like that answer from Kershaw, I don't know anything about his politics, I have no idea, but he basically he wasn't even saying I'm making a statement for or against anybody. I'm making a statement that you shouldn't even be making this a thing. Stop trying to box us in to force us to take a side on a political thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's this like gotcha game that's been going on for so long. And I think that people have finally figured out that you don't have to play it.
Right. Yeah. And that's the right answer. And then the fact that some of these players are not going to play that game is even that will draw like, well, you know, basically you're with us or you're against us.
What are you going to do?
Mindset.
What are you going to do? You're going to cancel me?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he's only made $100 million over his career. He'll be fine. Don't worry about that. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I think my tab may have closed on this, but the No Kings folks looks like they're going to be back over the weekend, and now I'm like, okay, where's my tab? I think I'm going to have to look it up again here. But I went and looked at the plan here for the St. Louis area, because there's a map right there. It is. There's a map on their website, and so basically, let me zoom in here to go again. And in the St. Louis area, let me zoom in just a little bit more. Okay, so it looks like the whole region, Warrenton, Troy. Yeah, good luck with the No Kings protest in Troy. That's
Warrenton?
Little more. Yeah, Warrenton, Troy, Edwardsville, a couple of them in St. Charles.
Wait.
Alton.
Where in St. Charles?
Okay, St. Charles, it is going to be at Hawks Nest Overpass.
Oh, okay.
That is Saturday, not tomorrow.
Yeah.
Saturday.
It's one leading right out of downtown St. Charles.
Yes.
Yeah.
O'Fallon, Mid-Rivers Drive, that's pretty standard there.
So are they just doing overpasses?
Florissant Post Office, Alton, Lincoln Douglas Square, Edwardsville, the park. Okay, the city. Aloe Plaza? What's Aloe Plaza?
Never heard of it.
I've been here a long time. I don't know what Aloe Plaza is. ALOE. I don't know what that is. Let's see here.
Sounds like it's good for your skin, though.
Clayton, well, yeah, in lieu of like taking a bath, I guess, yeah. Clayton, the Tam Express. That's not Clayton, but
yeah, I guess they're talking about the overpasses, because I don't imagine there's going to be large gatherings on Mid-Rivers Mall Drive or in St. Charles for.
Yeah, West County, Manchester, Weedman, which is kind of where they tend to go. Yeah. Let's see here. Where else is there? Belleville, Public Square, pretty typical there. There's going to be one in South County at Marcus's Ronnie Cinnamon, I guess in the parking lot there.
I guess.
And then go see a movie after that? I don't know.
That's a weird.
Yeah.
Like who's. Okay. Well, bully for them.
Yeah.
Exercise your First Amendment.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll wave.
Yeah,
with all my fingers. When I right by.
My guess, there's a few other areas. I'm guessing, like for instance, Hanley Road there.
Yeah.
In that Brentwood shopping
area. That ends up
area,
being that's kind of a go-to.
And and like I said, to give credit where credit due, the No Kings types here in St. Louis so far, they've done it right. They've been peaceful. They just have their signs. They do their thing. They haven't done anything stupid and violent or anything like that. Now
let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I mean, because there have been some other leftist protesters that have done street takeovers and have been violent, and that's mostly the anti-Semitic, pro-Palestine ones and things like that. But these folks are basically a mix of really old hippies who couldn't do any damage if they tried, and then sort of the young sycophants who probably just look for anything to protest.
Right. Yeah. Again, more power to them. That's fine. Okay.
Because you remember the first one of these, and we were like bracing, and we're like, "What's going to happen? How are you going to?" And then we're like, "It's fine."
Yeah.
You got your First Amendment right. Do your thing. It's fine. Say what you want to say. And there probably will be more of an anti-war appeal on this one, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, that's obviously one of the biggest stories right now. I was looking up and see what the weather's supposed to be like on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be colder.
Cooler.
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, not nasty weather.
Yeah.
High in the upper 50s. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like people are probably going to be out doing their thing, watching ball games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, I'm not a big demonstration protest guy. It's just
really,
not my thing. I don't know what
I've
it
been to a
accomplishes.
rally or two here or there over a long time, but yeah.
I love protests.
Yeah,
rallies,
I mean,
and
some
all
people do. It's not my thing. I'm just bully for you if you want, I guess. But I'm like, I don't know what you're accomplishing.
Are you going to be protesting and being with the No Kings?
I'm not the one that's actually out there with the signs.
Right, you're more of an observer, right?
No, yeah. I just go there to see what's going on, to see who's my area, because I want to know if there's some legit whack jobs in the area, or if these are people,
there are.
Yeah, well, of course.
Safe
I
bet.
want them to reveal themselves for my entertainment. And if it's a really stupid cause, then I'll make a little sign that's just mocking the fact that it's a protest. But the right to protest is enshrined in the Constitution, and peaceful
As it
assembly,
should be.
as it should be, and we only have the rights that we exercise. So I feel like if I don't show up when I have the opportunity, then I'm not exercising my rights to the fullest extent as a free American. Which you have a little.
I know. I'm thinking while I'm listening.
Now, what I will say though is that, again, given the fact that King Charles will literally be in the United States to talk to Congress, the No Kings people have the greatest opportunity to redeem themselves and do the funniest thing ever if they go and they protest that.
That's
because they're known for their sense of humor.
Because that would be a literal king that you can finally say you've scared out of the United States, because we haven't had a king since 1776. So
it's kind of interesting, the duality of people talking about who's going to run in 2028 and then protesting the concept of king. It's like, well, we're not going to have an election in 2028, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've heard somebody yell about they're not going to, and I've never heard somebody accuse the Democrats. So the Democrats are always like, Republicans are just going to take over. We're not even going to be allowed to have elections anymore. And they've been saying that since the 90s.
Yeah, but one of these days it's going to be true, right?
Yeah. They're going to declare martial law. We're never going to have an election again.
Corporeal Being has a fantastic suggestion for me, if I can make it. He wants me to go in a Sacramento Kings jersey. Well, I did wear the Burger King hat.
That's right.
On Thanksgiving for my costume. So
it's true.
Or I guess I'm trying to think. There's the
KC Royals.
Royals, can't say Monarchs. That was the old Negro Leagues team, but the Royals. And then then obviously the Sacramento Kings. I think they're still in Sacramento. I haven't followed the NBA in a while. But
now, where do I get a draped cape and a scepter so I can really?
Oh, there's got to be a prop store somewhere.
Yeah,
will it be Party City?
There's got to be one. There's got to be someone somewhere out there.
I would think so.
So yeah, I mean, just kind of giggle and laugh at them, but if they keep doing the way they're doing, they're having their say. They get to do their say too.
That's right.
I can roll my eyes at them or whatever. It doesn't matter. That's the great thing. One of the great things about America is you get to say whatever you want to say as long as you're being peaceful. And so far, the No Kings types around here, they've been peaceful.
Well, and not only that, but they've been successful. Because we don't have a king.
We do not have a king.
That's pretty amazing.
Right. Yeah, so they're actually undefeated. So
pretty amazing. Sure. Love it, love it, love it. You know what else I love? I love when we go and do remotes.
Yes.
We're going to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, Mike and I are going to be coming to you live for the morning show from WhistlePig. WhistlePig Outdoors. Mike talks to you about them all the time. All kinds of great geared stuff to check out there. I can't wait to check it out because I've never been there before.
It's fun. It's a fun story.
I am looking forward to it. So definitely be sure to tune in tomorrow and listen to us at WhistlePig.
Or come see us.
Or come see us. Yes.
Well, I'm here all alone in the studio.
Or Jerome.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
I have to tell my kids that I'm a rock star now.
On News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion.
They're literally taking the Constitution and putting it in a paper shredder.
News Talk STL.
Cardinal Nation, it's time
time to paint the town red.
Opening day of Cardinal baseball at Busch Stadium.
And there's nothing else like it.
It's a St. Louis tradition.
Two things define St. Louis: Cardinal baseball and News Talk STL.
Play ball!
Cardinal baseball opening day, March 26th, backed by our hometown favorites, Dushan High School, Freddy's Market, and D. Gregorio's Food Products.
Cardinal baseball!
Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros and Exteriors, your all-in-one service team that brings years of experience and quality that's affordable right to your doorstep. Christine and I discovered Gutter Pros and Exteriors when we bought our home and inherited a gutter problem. And they've also repaired siding damage on our home because along with gutter repair, gutter installation, and leaf protection, the Gutter Pros team are also the best for repairing other exterior damage, including fascia, soffit, and all siding repair and installation. Learn about all the ways Gutter Pros and Exteriors can help your home or business right now at gutterpros.com.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airways for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 2 times every weekend on News Talk STL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. You could also reach Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
License number GL250000615.
We've seen all kinds of clogs, so remember the rule. Only flush 3 things. Number 1, number 2, and toilet paper.
What about my dinosaurs?
No.
My monster truck?
Nope.
What about...
If it's not the big 3, don't flush it.
But if someone does flush a dinosaur...
Call Grasser. We clear the clog and get things moving again.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Hey guys, Billy Crow here from Jeffco Patriot Radio. Hope you had enough time to freshen up your coffee, because now we're back with Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Actually saw this performed at the now defunct Diamond Music Hall a couple years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, Pastor Pussycat.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, they did a show out there. Gosh, me and a bunch of my baseball buddies were out there. I think it's been 2 years now because Diamond Music Hall closed down 6 or 7 months ago.
I was going to say, I didn't know it was closed.
Yeah, it's closed, unfortunately.
It's right across from me, but I don't frequent it very
saw
often.
so many great 80s rock and metal shows there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that was one of them. So I saw that one there. All right, it's the unofficial holiday in St. Louis. Happy opening day, everybody.
Woo-hoo.
Yes. If you're going to the game, shoot me a note. Let me know.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to the most? Okay, so think of Minnesota, but in California. So it's fraud with a better tan.
And better hair.
And better hair. Yeah, we'll tell you about that. And then, of course, man, lots of sports. This is just that time of year, man. There's lots of sports going on, including the Illini, one of the last 16 teams left in the NCAA. All right, 6:49. Like I said, let's go ahead and do another news dump here.
The Morning News Dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks, the Morning News Dump.
Opening day festivities, not to be confused by individual pre-gaming, which is probably already happening right now around parts of St. Louis. The opening day festivities begin this morning around 10:30. That is when the pep rally starts at Ballpark Village. I guarantee you there are people who have already claimed the best parking spots, and they are hanging out at Ballpark Village just sitting there in the dark right now.
Probably.
Is it still dark outside? We're
no,
in the studio.
It's light out.
It's light outside, yeah. Gates open in Busch Stadium at noon. Pre-game ceremonies begin at 2:30, meaning they really want a lot of people just to buy lunch and hang out in the stadium.
Better way to do it.
First game of the season against the Rays gets underway at 3:15. We'll cover a lot more on opening day throughout the morning here. Okay, so we still have the stalemate going over the Department of Homeland Security with the partial government shutdown now approaching, a month and a half. At least at this point, we're
been 40 days.
We're getting into. We're not going to be too long before we're going to talk about the going into the third month, because I guess at any point something could give way and they could come up with a deal, but it just doesn't look like they're getting that way. the ICE agents now, many ICE agents being deployed to airports to assist with TSA security. Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt was on the Ingram angle, blaming the Democrats, of course, for TSA workers, among others, missing paychecks.
They care more about illegal immigrants than they do about the traveling public, these TSA workers. And my dad works 7 days a week in the midnight shift. Most people cannot afford to miss a paycheck, let alone 3 or 4.
And I don't know what the full context of the last deal that was offered by Republicans in the White House, but the Democrats rejected that one.
Yeah, I mean, they are talking. There are discussions going on. There are efforts being made, but it's just ridiculous that it's gotten to this point, and I don't know, annoying.
Yeah, and we'll see how long it goes, because a little bit later on, some other things like the president's now talking about calling up the Guard to go to some airports. The TSA is talking about shutting down airports, like entirely shutting down airports because of this. Last report I saw 450 TSA blue shirts had just quit.
Yeah.
Which, again, not a fan of the TSA, but
Well,
I get it.
They're tired of being held hostage by the politics in the swamp.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. At an annual fundraiser for the National Republican Congressional Committee, this was in D.C., President Trump talking about the military action against Iran and addressing the impacts that the war is having on the U.S. economy.
I thought that the energy prices, oil price would go up higher. I thought the stock market would go somewhat lower. But it didn't matter to me. It's short term.
Okay, so multiple reports say Iran has rejected the ceasefire offer from the U.S., and I just saw a report saying that among the demands that Iran has, because they're in so much position to demand things right now, is they are demanding complete sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. Anybody want to guess at the end of this whole thing, whenever that is, what's not going to happen?
Complete sovereignty over the
Complete
Strait
sovereignty
of Hormuz.
over the Strait of Hormuz, yeah.
I do feel like we're watching that scene from Monty Python with the knight,
Yeah, that's right.
We'll call it a draw.
Exactly.
Yes. Just a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, it's just a flesh wound. All right. Shipping that package through the post office could get more expensive. Now, this is separate from the increase of the cost of the stamps that the post office wants. We told you about that a week or so ago. Now, according to CNBC, the USPS is asking regulators to allow an 8% fuel surcharge on package deliveries, and that's in order to cover their increased costs of gas. Now, if that's approved, it would apply to Priority Mail Express packages, Priority Mail, Ground Advantage, and Parcel Select deliveries. That request is to impose a surcharge from April 26th through January 17th. So it would be a finite one unless it's extended, but they're saying, we budgeted this much, cost of gas is this much, we got to make up the money. Somehow we're already billions of dollars in the red.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be working well.
No, not in the least bit at all. All right, the House Oversight Committee, busy committee right now. They are investigating allegations of hospice fraud in the Golden State in California, and they're specifically looking at Los Angeles County. Chairman James Comer was on Fox's America Reports, and he says, according to a state audit, $3.5 billion in federal hospice care funding has been stolen.
There are clearly hundreds of people registered to one address that are billing for thousands of people on hospice. It's not possible. It's not possible to have that many patients. It's not possible to have that big of a claim in one county.
And of course, a whistleblower who brought this to light is saying that the governor knew about the fraud. California Governor Gavin Newsom says that, no, I didn't know about it, and I've established the California Hospice Fraud Task Force, and he says the state is investigating and prosecuting fraud locally, too.
Are they?
That's what he says, so it must be true.
We should be able to verify that.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty easy. Let's get the House Oversight Committee on it.
Let's do it.
Well, they're on it.
They got lots to oversee.
Yep. All right. The battle over transgender ideology and reality in the federal government specifically is going to court. Here is the story from Michael Harrington.
A man who is living as a woman is suing to prevent the Trump administration from barring him and others like him from women's restrooms and locker rooms in government buildings. Alliance Defending Freedom, a Christian legal group, has filed a front of the court brief against the plaintiff saying, quote, women deserve privacy, safety, and dignity when they come to work. Our laws and legal system should reflect reality, not deny it. Michael Harrington reporting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's one of the many I'm tracking or not. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. So, and this is specifically in federal government buildings.
Right, because there's ongoing lawsuits about involvement in the military and in women's prisons. But so yeah, this might be a different one.
Yep. Okay, Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway telling dozens of businesses around the state to stop selling cannabis and marijuana products. The cease and desist letters went to businesses that, according to the AG's office, are not licensed dispensaries, and they're questioning some of the products themselves, saying these things aren't safe. Or they're taking products that are otherwise legal and just selling them without a license according to the state constitution.
Don't do that.
Yeah, 18 of those are in the St. Louis area, mostly in the city, but there are a couple of shops in Maplewood and at least one in Baldwin that have received cease and desist letters. And Attorney General Catherine Hanaway says, do it or we're bringing civil action from the state.
Yeah, I don't think you want to deal with that.
I know Catherine Hanaway. She doesn't
Don't mess with her.
She doesn't make empty threats.
No.
You know, I'm just saying, she's not one of those who blusters a lot.
No.
All right, a pothole on I-55 became so big yesterday that it disabled multiple cars.
Yikes.
Yeah, that happened in the southbound lane near the Arsenal Street exit, but I guess it'd actually be the on-ramp there on southbound. So that's right there by Soulard.
Yeah,
by the brewery in Soulard. MoDOT responded, and traffic is back to normal, but they and police are saying be extra careful when driving in that area. All right, Sweet 16 basketball. Illini play at 9:05 tonight against Houston in the South Regional. That game is going to be on TBS. Blues back at home tonight, hosting the Sharks at Enterprise. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. You can see that game on FanDuel. Blues have won their last 2 games and 4 of their last 6 games. If they win tonight, they're back to 500 on the season.
Now, the Free Market Minute, brought to you by the Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University.
Hey, it's Mike Ferguson from The Morning Show. I am here with Dr. Grant Black. And Grant, entrepreneurship, it's one of those buzzwords we hear a lot about, but is entrepreneurship really important to the economy?
It definitely is. Entrepreneurship is a consistent contributor to economic growth. It creates new products and services that people value. It creates the new businesses that provide them. It fosters innovation that improves productivity, and it increases beneficial competition. It generates jobs, income, wealth mobility, and even tax revenues that all support and enhance communities. Entrepreneurship matters, so we need to help it thrive in all our communities.
The John W. Hammond Institute for Free Enterprise at Lindenwood University fosters and examines market-oriented approaches to economic and social issues. To learn more, visit hammondinstitute.org.
Hey, Columbo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code Tony at Intervine.com.
A celebration 100 years in the making. The National Route 66 Centennial Kickoff Celebration, presented by Vital Farms. Thursday, April 30th through Sunday, May 3rd in Springfield. The celebration kicks off with musical guests featuring Little Big Town, Chris Jansen, Gary LaVox, Gretchen Wilson, the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, and the Haygoods. Events continue through the weekend. You are invited to celebrate Route 66 with us, April 30th. Tickets and information on Route66Kickoff.com. Brought to you by the Missouri Route 66 Centennial Commission.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewsTalkSTL.com.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. There are 2 new developments in the war against Iran this morning. Israel says it killed the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's Navy. And Pakistan's top diplomat said U.S.-Iran indirect talks are taking place as the 2 countries offer proposals. Meanwhile, President Trump this morning is warning that Iranian negotiators better get serious soon before it's too late. He continues to insist that Iran is begging the U.S. to make a deal ending the war. Hawaii is looking for help from the federal government after back-to-back storms caused major flood damage.
Residents in Hawaii are digging out from the worst flooding to hit the state in 2 decades after 2 storms about a week apart.
We're now in the recovery phase after this disaster.
Hawaii Governor Josh Green says damages could exceed $1 billion.
I've asked for the major disaster declaration from the president.
Hundreds of homes, several schools, and the Kula Hospital on Maui were flooded. National Weather Service forecaster Cole Evans says the ferocity of Monday's downpour took even meteorologists by surprise. As neighbors rally to clear muck out of damaged homes, aid groups are collecting donations to support households, farmers, and animals across the state. I'm Jennifer King.
Hundreds of TSA workers have quit after going weeks without paychecks from the federal government. TSA union head Everett Kelly says the airport screeners need their money.
More than 400 TSA officers have quit. 1,000 more are calling out because they cannot get gas for their automobile, cannot get to work because they cannot afford daycare, because they cannot keep the lights on at home, while they keep the lights on at our airports.
The budget impasse over Homeland Security funding has led to long lines at airport security checkpoints, as well as travel disruptions. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt, and it stressed me out. But what I thought was a solution turned out to be a problem. I kept hearing ads about debt settlement that seemed too good to be true. And actually, it was. When I called, they told me to stop paying my bills. That didn't sound right to me at all, so I hung up. Later, I found out that debt settlement is bad, real bad. Then I learned that there is a right way to pay off your credit cards. It's called a debt management program from the great team at Trinity. Trinity had a plan. In the end, I paid off my bills, I saved thousands, and I even improved my credit score.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
On First Alert 4 meteorologist Chance Gotch with your First Alert forecast, looking at a record-breaking high this afternoon, back towards 93 degrees. Looking at some gusty winds up to about 25 miles per hour, also going to be possible. Then late tonight into Friday morning, going to be tracking a possibility of some strong to severe storms, prompting a First Alert weather day. That ends at 3 a.m. into Friday morning. Temperatures fall off significantly, looking at highs into the mid-50s. Then we'll slowly start to warm up towards the upcoming weekend, looking dry. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Gotch.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Hey, when pests invade your home, you need someone you can trust. It's Jamie Allman here, and at Buckingham Pest Control, they're not just your exterminators. They're your neighbors and friends. A locally owned family business and St. Louis Magazine A-List award winner, providing affordable, quality pest control. Plus, they offer energy-efficient TAP attic insulation, the only insulation that controls pests. BuckinghamPestControl.com. That's BuckinghamPestControl.com.
Columbo here for my friends at Bluff City Outdoors in Alton. The knowledgeable staff at Bluff City has served the St. Louis outdoor community for decades, and they can take care of all your bow hunting needs, all your trapping needs, all your fishing needs, and more. Plus, while you're there, you can schedule a trip with a local fishing guide and shoot in their archery range. Bluff City Outdoors is open 7 days a week, 1 mile east of Fast Eddie's at 2813 East Broadway in Alton. Follow them on Facebook and at BluffCityOutdoors.com.
Mike Ferguson.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Susie Moore.
They look very aggressive. I think they want to beat me up.
Get up, St. Louis.
So it's time to get out of bed. Pour yourself the greatest cup of Kofifi the world has ever seen. Rise up with one voice, drain the swamp, and take back our country. Today's the day we're going to do it, and it's time to do it right now, believe me.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
All right, do we even know who's in charge in Iran at this point?
No.
Yeah.
That's how effective the U.S. military strikes are, and it looks like the political leadership, the cultural leadership in Iran, and by cultural leadership, I mean the people who oppress everybody.
Yes.
Looks like that's in complete disarray, and we've got multiple reports now coming out of the Middle East saying that the U.S. is planning what they're calling a final blow to end the military aspect of this. Now, we don't know what that means yet,
right?
But that's what's being told. But a big part of anything when you're talking about a negotiation or an agreement to surrender or allow them to save face or whatever the case is who's actually in charge at this point.
That's big.
We don't really know, do we?
No, we don't, because you get different reports.
Right.
I mean, so like, the administration will say, we're doing X, and then you'll get this, no, we're not, but then you get Pakistan saying, but we are involved in it. I mean, it's definitely a who's on first type situation.
Ward Clark wrote about that at RedState.
He did.
And he joins us right now. And Ward's actually in Dallas now, because I know you're going to go to the CPAC conference, which I want to ask you about in a few minutes. But how important is that to the entire equation? I mean, this seems like a massive, massive variable, as in the disarray since we took out the Ayatollah. That is part of the entire military victory, I would think.
It's a huge part of the military victory. This is a classic tale of an evil nation state that is collapsing. Nobody really knows who's in charge. We don't even know if the new supreme leader. We don't know which side of the grass he's on, whether he's above it or under it. He hasn't appeared anywhere. The Revolutionary Guard seems to have seized most of the control, and they are determined to go down fighting. They're contradicting everything the Trump administration says about trying to reach some kind of a deal. And there's a cautionary note in that. I would caution the Trump administration, don't be tempted to making a deal with anybody from the current regime in Iran. They won't hold up to their end of any deal. They are liars. They've always been liars, and they will lie when they're agreeing to any kind of a deal with the Trump administration. There has to be a new regime, and it has to be the Iranian people that stand it up.
Yeah, Ward, I feel like one of the difficulties here, too, is, because there's so much confusion and disarray, even if you've got somebody theoretically at the proverbial table involved in the negotiations, do they even have the ability to deliver on anything that they agree to? So I feel like that's a factor in this as well.
Yeah, it really is. And are they the right person? And will they? And there again, we have this which side of the grass they're on scenario. He might make a deal today with someone who the Revolutionary Guard knocks off tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
They seem pretty determined to go down swinging. And the trouble is they don't have much left. We've destroyed almost all of their capacity. We're hunting their few remaining little speedboats out in the Gulf with A-10s and Apache attack helicopters, which we can only use. I mean, these things fly low and slow. They're wonderful platforms for what they're doing. The A-10 is a magnificent bird, but we can only use it where we have complete air domination. And that means we've destroyed their Air Force. We've destroyed their air defenses. They've got nothing to shoot at an A-10 with.
So with the strategy, obviously, Iran's holding on to trying to control the Strait of Hormuz, and they're saying we will accept nothing less than complete sovereignty there. That ain't going to happen. But at the same time, then you look at the use of their proxies. I mean, the groups that they've been funding and have been carrying out attacks, in other parts of the region, at least at this point. So are we concerned more now about more reliance on the proxy groups that can basically hit anywhere because they're more nimble?
Yeah, we should be. And we should be, here in the United States, we should be concerned with the number of Iranian nationals that came across the border during the Biden administration without any vetting or screening of any kind. We should be very worried about those people because they're here and we don't know where a lot of them are or what they're doing. The use of the proxy groups, though, I see it kind of as another sign of the regime collapsing. And Hamas and Hezbollah and those groups know this, and they know that without Iran, they're screwed. They'll lose their financial support. They'll lose their shipments of weapons. They'll lose their training and recruiting support. They're done if Iran falls and becomes a modern, peaceful democracy.
Now, Ward, this isn't necessarily directly related to Iran, but you also wrote on something, I think it was yesterday, a new piece of equipment that the U.S. is rolling out. It's a new tank killer at 1/10 the price. Is this to replace the Javelins?
That seems to be the aim. Now, the U.S. military, the Army, who's the primary user of the Javelin, hasn't said anything about it yet. This report just came from the manufacturer who's designing this missile. They intend for it to replace the Javelin. And as you noted, at about 10% the cost.
Wow.
Having spent some time now, our colleague Strife spent a lot more time in infantry units than I have, but I do have some experience. And I can tell you, infantrymen love blowing things up. And if you're pinned down by a sniper in the building, you know a lot of historically the modern militaries of the world will send out a patrol to try and find the sniper and pin him down and take him out, where Americans tend to just shoot a rocket at him.
Sure.
And while this is sold as an anti-tank weapon, those things have lots of other uses.
And it makes for a better movie.
Yeah, it really does.
There's that.
We're visiting with Ward Clark from RedState.com, and I mentioned a minute ago, Ward, that you're in Dallas, the CPAC convention that gets underway. Did that get underway yesterday, or does that start today? They got underway yesterday, and yeah.
It really starts today. Yesterday it was badge pickup and some meetings.
Okay, got it. Basic preliminary stuff here. Boy, CPAC's been through a lot of changes in the last several years because there's always that running debate. Is CPAC what it used to be? What kind of role do you think CPAC can still have in the conservative movement? Because there's been some skepticism of CPAC as an organization and as the conference. Susie and I were looking over the list of speakers there, and I think about half of them or 2/3 of them were like, I don't know who that is. I've never heard of them before. And then there were some really big names that I think a lot of conservatives are going to like. What's kind of the vibe that you're sensing there so far?
Well, it's a little early to, pardon me, to say yet. But there is some. When I waited in line for probably 45 minutes yesterday to pick up my badge, and a lot of the chatter, and it was kind of screwed up because they told us, from the media people, go wait in the general line, and I waited in general line for almost an hour, and they said, oh no, you're media, you got to go over here. So there was a little bit among the staffers there of the right hand not knowing what the left was doing, but that's inevitable in any enterprise of this size. But the chatter seemed to be around the speakers list. It's like, well, there's some big names. Reza Pahlavi, the Crown Prince of Iran, is going to be speaking. But there's a lot of who are these people? Yeah. And from RedState, we're part of the Town Hall Media Group. We have some of our big names in there, Kurt Schlichter and Larry O'Connor. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. As a matter of fact, I just talked to them in the bar last night. But,
Give them my best, Ward. Give them my best.
I will. We're supposed to meet for drinks again at some point during this enterprise. But yeah, that seemed to be the primary thing. There's a lot of comment, a lot of speakers that nobody seems to know who they are.
Yeah.
Right, which doesn't mean that they won't be interesting to listen to, but.
No, it doesn't, and it might help propel them up to a little higher profile.
Sure.
CPAC is still kind of the 800-pound gorilla of conservative conventions.
Yeah. Yeah, Ward, I mean, when we went last year, of course, and that was at in Maryland, in the D.C. area, and that was kind of where it's been traditionally for most of the time. But this year they changed it up, and it's in Dallas. What have you noticed that's different? Obviously, it's still a Gaylord property, so there's some similarities in terms of the way the structure itself looks. But in terms of the vibe, is it different because it's in Dallas and not D.C.-centric?
I think it is, yeah. A lot of the people attending this thing feel a little more comfortable in Texas than they did in Maryland. I mean, Maryland's about as deep blue a state as you can get, and it always has been. Yeah. My wife grew up in Maryland, and her father was involved in the Democratic Party, even though he didn't agree with a lot of their priorities, even back in the 70s and 80s. But in Maryland, he said, if you want to be influential in politics, you got to be a Democrat, or you're outside. You're on the wrong side of the door.
Yeah, and
I think the crowd's more comfortable here in Texas.
Anybody in particular that you are specifically interested in hearing from?
Reza Pahlavi.
Okay.
I really want to hear what he has to say. He if the current regime in Iran falls, and it should, and I think they've got their toes on the edge of a cliff, and all we need to do is give them another little push. and they'll go over. He's going to be a big part in any new Iran. He claims he doesn't want to be king. He shouldn't be king or Shah. They should move beyond that. But he could be a really big key figure that the people of Iran can rally around while they're in that transition time to setting up a parliament or whatever form their new government's going to take. I would prefer to see them to take the United States Constitution, translate it into Farsi, and adopt it, but they're probably not going to do that.
They're probably saying, Ward, we'll call that Plan B. Let's do so.
Yeah. But some kind of parliamentary democracy, that would be great. And it would change the world. And by the way, there's quite a few Iranian expats here waving signs saying, God bless President Trump, free Iran. So that's interesting. We didn't see that last year.
Yeah. All right. Ward Clark from RedState.com. You're going to be obviously writing about this throughout the next couple of days as well. So we'll just keep RedState.com up on the tabs and keep track of what you're doing there.
I will be live from CPAC.
All right. Thanks, Ward. Good to talk to you, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ward. All right. First it was ICE, but now could the Guard be called in next to the airports? We will tell you about that and about what the president said about that at 7:20.
Don't try to make me stop, no inspiration. You have a soul so dark, it is no more. And all at once depart, no destination. Making cold my heart to fight your war.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
I like it, but they're going a little overboard with the dancing.
On News Talk STL.
Before you blow us all away.
I want to kind of address one of the things people think about when we talk about getting healthier. We just had Ryan Mastoni from Nutrition Stop in the studio with us yesterday, talking about, dealing with those allergies and using nutrition and natural health to kind of strengthen your body to deal with that. Man, we had a lot of people commenting on that. So check out that podcast. Mike Ferguson here for my friends at Nutrition Stop. But a lot of times we think of getting healthy as just losing weight, losing inches, getting into that outfit or that swimsuit or those jeans that you couldn't do before. And that's a byproduct of it. But how about this? How about since I've gotten serious about my health, 2-3 years ago, yes, I've lost inches. Yes, I'm in better shape. Yes, I'm playing baseball in a better way. But here's the thing. I have less joint pain. I'm sleeping better. I don't get sick as often. My body is more efficient. I'm stronger at doing the things that I used to do, even though I'm getting older and I'm now going into my mid-50s. That's part of being healthy. And it's not about any sort of political thing. It's about what are you putting into your body. Think about it this way. Would you go to the dollar store to get the fluids for your car because you want to save a couple bucks? No, you wouldn't do that. So why would you put junk and garbage and the least bit of quality into your body for basically the same amount of cost? You can have all natural, healthy food and supplements, and you can get that at Nutrition Stop. NutritionStop.com. Do what I do. Go ask them questions. They will guide you in the right direction. They're on Mexico Road, right off of Cave Springs and I-70. NutritionStop.com.
Colombo and Company.
Join us every day for conversations with a wide variety of guests as we keep you informed and up to speed on all the important news and headlines you need to know.
Live and local weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
PRI Global now has Prismatic, an AI-driven platform that can help you and your business, especially in construction. Simplify your operations, secure data, modernize your business from the cloud up. Visit PRIGlobal.com. Innovation with talent and technology. People, process, platform. PRI Global delivers all three. Check them out. PRIGlobal.com. PRIGlobal.com.
Ever feel like just a number in a waiting room? Hi, I'm Shannon Tribune, Director of Operations with Body of Health Direct Primary Care. Navigating the medical system can be a maze of stress. I'm your personal guide at Body of Health. I handle the messy parts of medical care, the logistics and complex coordination, both in and outside our walls, so you and Dr. Tobler, that's my dad, can focus on what matters most, your health. At Body of Health, you're not just a patient, you're part of the family, because that's healthcare the way it ought to be. To learn more, schedule a discovery call at bodyofhealth.com.
This year, America turns 250, and NewsTalkSTL is celebrating our nation's semi-quincentennial all year long. NewsTalkSTL, #1 for live and local Soros-free talk, with proud supporters of our 250th birthday celebration. Roman T. Jewelers, Luxury Driver STL, Harry J. Steakhouse, and Snooze Mattress. 250 years strong, and we're just getting started. 1019 and 94.1 NewsTalkSTL. This is 1019 and 94.1.
I have to tell you, if this is how they're going to behave, I'm rethinking my position.
NewsTalkSTL.
Bill O'Reilly here. Check out the O'Reilly Update this afternoon at 3:45. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Whoa, for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest. If you book a ticket for a flight, stow your baggage and some of your rights. Travel you're hoping, but first you'll get a groping, and you'll be waiting for the longest time. Supervisors try to sneak bombs by. Of 180 make it by. I like those chances. I forgot how nice your pants is. Maybe I'll check them for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest time.
Just saying there's a case to be made for privatizing the TSA right now.
Oh, yes, there is.
Just saying.
Also, for good parody songs.
Yes, that's
I
Remy.
love that.
That's Remy from Reason.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, it was much longer. I had to take out a couple of ones to make it fit. Otherwise, we'd just be jamming.
You kind
all
of
day.
forget how good that song was. As
Billy
cheesy,
Joel's, yes.
as cheesy as it was actually a really cute, really fun song.
That's one of Billy Joel's better songs, I think. I
I
always
think
loved
so,
that
too.
song. Yeah,
Me too.
Exactly. All right. We don't know really how close the Congress critters are to a deal on DHS funding. We just don't know. But keep in mind that some of the negotiations always happen in the media.
Yes.
You know, because they say, oh, we're close to a deal, what they want is media to be talking about, oh, we're close to a deal, and will they accept the deal? Hey, will you accept the deal to whichever side? And that's added pressure.
Sure.
Call them because we heard the reports that they're close to a deal. Are they going to back out of a deal, whether there's one or not?
Mhm.
Some of that is just the nonsense theater that happens in politics.
Yep.
So here's the thing, though. I think you should consider the whole mess, the whole political mess when you're planning your summer vacation, your summer travel. I mean, I think at this point we are close to the summer. Don't assume everything's going to be back to normal. And, they'll figure it out. Maybe they will, but I would have a contingency plan if you were planning to fly somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I hate to say that, but
unfortunately, right now driving is a little bit on the pricey side too.
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at where if I want to go anywhere. I mean, I've already ruled out like some travel later in the year, just because even if the war ends and some things go back to normal, I just can't justify the budget for it. So I'm probably not going to go play in my World Series down in October, November this year.
Warm to the notion of staycations.
Yeah, or something regional, something closer, maybe.
I think if it's within a couple hours drive, it counts as a staycation.
Okay, I can buy that. Yeah. And so here's where we're at. The head of the TSA is now hinting that if this continues, that some airports would be closed.
Wow.
Yeah, actual like the full airport. Now, they're not going to close the major hubs. They're not going to close Atlanta. They're not going to close Dallas. They're not going to close, Denver. They're not going to close, Lambert probably is not going to be affected. Lambert really has kind of escaped the really bad backups so far. Eventually, if this continues, it's going to happen everywhere.
Yeah.
So ICE has been sent in Now, my understanding still is that ICE is not doing the screenings.
They're
not
not
working
doing
the security
screenings.
things. They're doing basic security around the airport.
Right, like basically guiding people through the airport. Not like one by one, but
No.
like they're
They're not pushing the wheelchairs or anything like that.
No.
Right, but a lot of times those are the TSA blue shirts who are in charge of that too, and so
Crowd
they're
control.
Yeah, they're being directed to the screening things. In some areas, the pre-check I don't think is operational. In some airports, I don't
think so,
because they're moving them all to the regular one with where all of us plebes have to go through, and so that's happening. And now the president, according to his social media post, is thinking about calling up the Guard in some areas to go and kind of be the next wave of backup for ICE at the airports as well. So I don't know if that's just more manpower situation that they're looking for, but I think they would be doing essentially the same thing that ICE would be doing.
Yeah, again, the screening itself is still being handled and would be handled by TSA. So everybody's screeching about, these other federal law enforcement, they aren't properly trained. To do what?
Right.
To help with crowd control?
Yeah,
they are.
I mean, literally, it's like a 2-week certificate program. But what
I'm saying is
these blue shirts go through. This isn't super high skilled stuff.
It isn't, but they're not even doing that.
Yeah. No.
So the training canard
Right.
is just that. So yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just like the manpower is the issue, and but it's going to continue to be an issue. And honestly, like you were talking about, I mean, what better argument for privatization than that you don't want this agency and these employees held hostage over and over again because people in D.C. are in a snit about something.
We've got, 15 or 16 reasonably sized airports around the country, including a couple really big ones like San Francisco. They don't have TSA. They stayed with the private approach. They're not noticing any difference. Other than there aren't as many people flying in.
Well, I was
because
going to say there probably are,
areas.
the overall travel delays. But
Governor Ron DeSantis is among those who are just saying, let's talk about privatizing the TSA.
So
he's not wrong.
No, it's a discussion that needs to be had.
Yeah. One, for efficiency, for customer service, but also there's nothing documenting anything that shows the TSA has been anything other than theater and annoyance and sexual assault. They have not stopped a single terrorist anything.
It's even worse than that. In 95% of the cases where the Department of Homeland Security has done tests to see if they can sneak in contraband items, including fake bombs, stuff like that, 95% of the time they fail to actually catch the contraband.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was in the song.
Yeah, that's right.
It was in the song lyrics.
Yeah. And the funny part was that song was Remy first wrote that. I think it was like 6 years ago, 6 or 8 years ago. So it just kind of hits different, but just as valid today.
Yep.
Yeah, he does great parody work.
Very much
so much fun there. But back to what does this mean to us? So, I mean, I'm looking at, because I wanted to go visit some family with some vacation time. Now I'm like, I'm not planning on flying anywhere. I think it's, do I drive to someplace like New England or something like that? Or if I take some time off, I'm going to change where I'm going to go based on this. And so somebody's not going to get a few bucks in my economy because of the way this is going, or in their economy from my wallet, because you have to make those plans. But like you said, I could just drive, but then it's a lot more expensive to drive if I'm going to go a long distance. The price for the train goes way up when these things happen, because over the holidays, remember, we had the earlier shutdown, and I thought about, okay, I'm going to go, I'll just take the train up to visit my family in New England. It was like $1,800.
Better start walking.
There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
No.
And I didn't want to drive to New England in winter.
No.
I'm not doing that.
Do not advise.
So this has an effect on everybody's life. It's political theater and drama heading into the midterms for these out-of-touch Congress critters on both sides. But it's got a very real-world impact on the rest of us.
Well, I've got an idea, though. Since TSA is not getting paid, but Congress is, why don't we just shut down the Department of Education?
I'm for that.
And take those funds and use that to pay the people that actually do something productive for a living.
Leave it in my paycheck.
Yes, exactly. So I guess I'll leave you with this question then. Is the promise to dismantle the Department of Education the same thing as getting the federal government out of education? The Trump administration has made a big promise. Are they going to keep it, though? We'll update you on that at 7:35.
Software version 7.0.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
People talk about federal money as if it falls from heaven. You know, we thank heaven for it, but it came out of people's pockets.
On NewsTalk STL. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
On First Alert 4 meteorologist Chance Gotch with your First Alert forecast, looking at a record-breaking high this afternoon, back towards 93 degrees. Looking at some gusty winds up to about 25 miles per hour, also going to be possible. Then late tonight into Friday morning, going to be tracking a possibility of some strong to severe storms, prompting a First Alert weather day. That ends at 3 a.m. into Friday morning. Temperatures fall off significantly, looking at highs into the mid-50s. Then we'll slowly start to warm up towards the upcoming weekend, looking dry. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Gotch.
John Beal knows that right after a hailstorm, new roofing companies start popping up everywhere. But the Small Business Administration reports 96% of them go out of business within the first 5 years. So how good is that warranty? John Beal started in the roofing business, helping his granddad and his dad. Always offering the best roof, best price, best guarantee. John Beal Roofing, not some fly-by-the-night operation. Call my friend John, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Larry Connor's commentary, brought to you by Vincent's Jewelers, offering a wide selection of jewelry, including lab-grown diamonds, affordable earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and rings, up to 75% off their natural counterparts. Visit VincentsJewelers.com. This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
When Trump took office, he had declared the U.S. will not fund, sponsor, promote, nor support any transition of a child from one gender to another. And immediately some Democrats, mostly the loony fringe, fought back, asking courts protect sex changes for children. So if a boy child wants to be a girl child, they should be able to trans. And parents of such confused kids were persuaded if you don't let your kids have their way, they could become suicidal. Of course, many who did undergo surgery and puberty blockers became suicidal, even homicidal. But I have a question. Lately, are you hearing more or less about trans kids? One study found 90% of kids who did want transsexual surgery just stopped wanting it. All of this is too late for some. But if kids decide for themselves, yeah, this is just a trend, a fad, I don't know, something like maybe bell-bottom jeans, I'm no longer interested. So the question now is sanity slowly being restored and our children being protected?
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
Mike Ferguson here. Retirement should be a time you can relax. No more stress from work. But there's one thing you can't forget about when retiring. That's your money. Do you have enough saved to fund your income for life and keep up with inflation? How will you claim your Social Security benefits? And what about long-term care? The ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel is here to help answer all of these questions. You can hear their latest views on the markets and investing during On the Money, hosted by Stifel financial advisors Bob Stockdale and Eric Robert, every Saturday morning at 9, right here on News Talk STL. They can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call 636-695-2650, 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
If you love your pet, which I know you do, then they deserve the excellent treatment and care they'll receive at Pacific Animal Hospital in Pacific, Missouri, a full-service veterinarian facility. Originally built and grown by my dad, Dr. Bill Jones, a new generation of wonderful veterinarians and staff at Pacific continue to provide outstanding medical, surgical, dental, boarding, and grooming services for your favorite furry friends. Our family entrusts the care of our pets only to the experienced docs and staff at Pacific Animal Hospital. You should too. Call them today, 636-257-2100, 24/7 at PacificVets.com, PacificVets.com.
Conservative talk for St. Louis.
It's your patriotic right and duty. The government needs to step up and do its job.
This is News Talk STL.
It's well-balanced conversation.
News, analysis, opinion.
Good morning, St. Louis. Hey, it's Vince from The Vince Show right here on News Talk STL every weeknight at 8. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Okay, we've been promised an end to the U.S. Department of Education. Now, here's the thing. That's one of the goals that I have been most excited about when the new administration came in, okay? I understand that promise to mean get the federal government out of education and return it to the states and the local governments. That's how I interpret that.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to get what's been promised from the Trump administration, or is this a matter of rearranging the bureaucracy? Okay. A little while back, I had on my syndicated show, my American Viewpoint show, when that was national, Dennis Kneale, host of the What's Bugging Me podcast, really popular, also author of the Leadership Genius of Elon Musk. And, Dennis has been on the show with us before here. Dennis, great to chat with you. When we were chatting, especially that first time you and I talked a while back on my other show, I'm like, okay, I want the hot take from Dennis on this. So we know the changes are being made when it comes to education, as far as like who's going to oversee the loans. That's moving away from the Department of Education. Education Secretary Linda McMahon saying, yep, we're trying to wind this down. But when we're talking about getting rid of the Department of Education, the whole point is to get the federal government out of it because of how horrible they are at it. Are we going to get what was promised, or are we looking at just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic?
Well, good morning, Mike. It's great to talk to you. Thanks for having me on again. Airtime is like oxygen, so I appreciate it. And I'll tell you, so they say they've shut down 40% of the federal Department of Education, and it's something that was created back in Jimmy Carter, and it's something various politicians have talked about. So the good news is they're 40% there, and they're about to move, or they just have moved over $1.7 trillion in student loans that Obama administration had the government start taking over, which of course fueled the inflation of college tuition, because anytime federal money floods into any area, prices go up. And so now they're moving that administration of those loans over to the Treasury Department. That allows them much more freedom to close down the department. The only thing, Mike and Susie, I got to wonder, have we ever seen any government agency at any level ever shut down? So I still don't know that I'd give it better than 50-50 odds that this will go through, because there's too many people in that infrastructure who will lose their jobs if they shut it down. And it's all about them. It's not about education.
Good morning, Dennis. This is Susie. And part of that, too, has to do with the fact that there's only so much the executive itself can do in relation to formally shutting this down. There needs to be some obviously, the courts need to be ruling in ways that, because so many of the moves of this administration have been challenged in court already. So you've got to have the judicial aspect of it. And then does Congress need to sign off on some of this as well?
That's a good question. I don't know, but that shouldn't stop me from being able to answer. Because I am a journalist, right? I imagine you might need some kind of congressional action, which is a problem, especially depending on where we are after the midterms. But more than that, you just put your finger on it. These federal judges are out of control. It is the imperious judiciary. They have interfered at the district court level. There's 677 judges in 99 districts, and a certain small group of them have decided that my one order in my one little district can stop the executive branch from operating nationwide. And I just can't believe, in fact, the stats show there's been a huge increase in these judges' rulings only for Trump. It's never happened before, and it's so slanted and so biased. I just wonder if anything anywhere else that works is going to be able to go through without a huge round of appeals, which is what's going on now because of all these ridiculous federal court judges.
So, Dennis, I mean, to bring back the vernacular that we used to say all the time, what we're really talking about is up against the giant wall of the deep state when it comes to trying to take out part of their establishment, because the education department, I mean, Jimmy Carter basically created that as a gift to the teachers' unions, and it's been going downhill ever since.
Bingo. And these teachers' unions are a real problem. My next book, I'm finishing it right now, writing it. It's called Oregoners, and it's on how this blue state's well-meaning liberal policies are driving it right off the cliff. Now, in education, they spend almost $20,000 a year in Oregon. That's something like 20 or 30% more than the national average. Yet their K through 8 grades, reading and math, are at the bottom of the country. They rate 48th in one of those metrics, despite all the money they're spending, and it's because of the teachers' unions. They're spending all their time teaching about how America's bad and Native Indians were routed and abused and all of this stuff without teaching them how to read. And so it's a true embarrassment. And one political operative there said, my God, he said, we're now Mississippi, and Mississippi is at the top of the charts on education. And unions are a big part of that. Unions dominate local government and as well as federal government. We have these government workers unions. Here's a little known fact. I'll bet you guys probably knew this. Only less than 7% of the private sector is represented by unions, but 40% of the government workers are represented by unions. So today, unions are nothing more than government workers. And they care more about their workers than they care about the work and the output that they're doing. And this is why Oregon's in trouble. And this is why parts of the nation are in trouble, blue states mostly.
Dennis, are there ways in which we are seeing or can see the states step up even further, since we're trying to remove the federal government involvement from the education system and process? What can states be doing to come back in and fill that void?
Reclaim it.
Yeah, reclaim it.
Well, there is that Mark Levin, who is a great American and a fantastic radio host. I mean, he's an idol of mine. He's exactly my age. Mark Levin has called for this, what do they call it? It's a convention of states. It's not a constitutional convention to change the Constitution so much as it's a convention of states to step in and get some things done by passing it at the state legislature level, where Republicans do have a majority. The problem is, guys, do you think anyone, especially any leader in America, gets anything done without it being a true full-blown crisis? It seems like we need things to be a crisis before we get together and do anything about them. And so no one's done anything about this, convention of states, because we're not in total breakdown crisis, I guess, right now. It's too bad, because we could get out in front of this.
We're visiting with Dennis Kneale. His podcast is What's Bugging Me, the book that's out now already, The Leadership Genius of Elon Musk. And so, Dennis, when we go back to addressing the deep state, we've got the unions, and we've got the motivation for the D.C. types to keep the power in D.C. Getting rid of the department is one thing, but we need to make sure we're not just doing that in name and keeping all the power in D.C. Now, far be it from me to ever suggest that both parties would hold on to power over all of us. I would never, of course, suggest that. That would never happen, of course. But let's just assume, for the sake of argument, that both parties are like, well, we need to deliver something, but we really don't want to give up the power over people, because the power over education is literally the power over generations to come. How do we apply that?
We're suffering now, Mike, from the outcome of education. All of those young, stupid kids marching for Hamas, marching for free Palestine, but then saying not a word about 10,000 or 30,000 Iranian resident citizens killed by their own government simply for marching in the streets. I mean, it's just terrible, the product of the education department. But, remember this. So long ago, 1982, the monopoly of the phone system, AT&T had owned every local phone, every long distance, everything. They busted it up and they turned the local phone business into 7 regional Bell companies, around the country. Well, they ought to break up the Washington federal government and break it out into 7 separate regional things. Put them out near the people. The FBI, being in Washington, isolated from the people, let it go down the wrong path. And it went down the path toward trying to remove a sitting elected president in the first Trump term. The FBI was involved. The CIA was involved. I think that they ought to bust up government and separate it out regionally so that they're closer to the people and they're not all concentrated in Washington, where I believe literally 95% of the vote went to Kamala Harris, which is just insane and incredibly stupid of those people.
Dennis, what do you think about, so with the Treasury taking over on the student loan aspect of things, I don't really have a good grasp, I guess, on how that works mechanically, but do we get the sense that that's going to lead to some improvements in the student loan system? I mean, it stinks that the federal government is part of that process to begin with, but that's where we are right now.
It's such a mess. Do you know that the typical student loan has an interest rate of 4 to 6%, and yet the default rate on that thing is something like, I think it's 20%, okay? That means that the rate ought to be 30% interest. Credit card interest debt has a default rate of less than 4%, and yet they're charging us 25% annual interest for a credit card. So it's just ridiculous that the government did that. It did nothing but drive up tuition prices, and I just don't know if we're ever going to get out of it because, again, that $1.7 trillion just sits there repeating itself. And, of course, the people who got the money, they were led by the Biden government to believe that, well, I shouldn't have to pay it back at all somehow. I was ripped off. I wanted to study 15th century French poetry, and I took on $150,000 in college debt. But gosh, it's not my fault. It's their fault for throwing the money at me. There's just no accountability. I know that the good thing is the Trump administration is making sure that the government won't continue handing out money hand over fist at almost free rates. That stops. That's a good thing going forward. But it'll be years before that 1.7 trillion is reduced down to zero,
yes.
if ever.
So, Dennis, last minute or so we've got here. How hopeful can we be that this promise is going to be delivered? And if it's not, who do we blame for it?
Well, this time we got to blame the Trump administration, right? They're the ones who said they're going to do it, so do it. And I've got a saying that I learned from someone else, because every journalist, we know nothing except what other people like you guys tell us, right? But hope is a decision. And today, too many people are shopping for umbrage. Today, we've turned into a land of envy instead of a land of opportunity. Today, too many people moan and walk around not seeing hope. And I disagree with that. I think we overuse the word destroy. Nothing can destroy us unless we let it. And so, yes, have hope that they will get rid of this department. 40% of it has been cut, and that's never been done, I would venture to say, with any government agency ever before. So, yeah, let's have hope. Let's be happy about it.
Dennis, my guess is a lot of people are like, all right, how do I connect with this guy? What's the website, social media? How do people get in touch and follow what you're doing, especially when things like books come out from you?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Well, the X platform at Dennis Kneale, Kneale, is my main platform. It's the only platform that counts. It's the single most important media free platform in the world. And there's plenty of liberals on there. My feed's filled with them. So don't go thinking, oh, Jesus, oh, conservatives. Oh, it's me, conservatives. No, it's everybody out there having a shot at it. And I invite you to follow me. My messages on there get only a few hundred because I think I'm restrained by old algorithms because I used to be an anchor for Fox Business, Fox News. Maybe that's why. But I love it there, and everyone ought to be there because you learn so much from so many different perspectives.
Yeah, we've already tagged you on our social media this morning as well. Dennis Kneale, man, appreciate it. Good to talk to you again.
Thanks so much. Have a glorious day, my friends.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, you too. Yesterday was bump day.
Bump
Today's
day.
opening day. Tomorrow is Friday. And that means we want your bump music suggestions. You need to get them into us so that we can make sure that we have Flashback Friday and enjoy it fully. Get your requests in to Jerome at NewsTalkSTL.com.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
We hear about wokeness, but let me just say, we woke up.
On News Talk STL.
Don't find out. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Never paint again with Rhino Shield. Listen to what a couple of happy customers have to say.
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted. Our building was really faded. You came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
What a wonderful job they did. It's beautiful. They were very thoughtful, kind, considerate guys. Appreciate all the work that these two young men did.
Call Rhino Shield, 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't hate, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Why are you going to work? It's Sunday.
It's a brand new show on News Talk STL. JC's Sunday Showgram.
This week, it's great backstories of my celebrity brush with greatness incidents. Adam Sandler, Vanna White, Ozzy Osbourne, and Mike Myers among them. Plus, here goes Stan Kroenke making threats again. And what was it like working with Howard Stern? I did, beginning this week back in 1982. All brought to you by the Weber Automotive Group.
Sunday morning, 7 to 9. Then podcast each Monday on NewsTalkSTL.com.
Cardinal Nation, it's time to paint the town red.
Opening day of Cardinal baseball at Busch Stadium.
And there's nothing else like it.
It's a St. Louis tradition.
Two things define St. Louis: Cardinal baseball and News Talk STL.
Play ball!
Cardinal baseball opening day, March 26th. Backed by our hometown favorites, Best Buy Flooring, Gemini Wealth Management, and Whistle Pig Outdoors.
Cardinal baseball!
Good morning, Missouri. It's your boy, Joe Pags. I'll talk to you tonight at 10. But right now, let's get back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
All right, happy opening day, everybody. Happy opening day, St. Louis.
Yay.
All right, we got a few things that you're going to want to know for fun, and then a couple things you're going to need to know. Even if you're going to the game, if you're just going to be in that region. But here's the thing, man. Big day for St. Louis. We get to enjoy it here. 7:51 going on 7:52 right now. We got a follow up to that discussion with Dennis Kneale, which, by the way, that discussion with Dennis Kneale is going to be up on our podcast here in a couple hours as well. It's Rebecca, right? Yeah, Rebecca, you're on News Talk STL. Rebecca, what's on your mind?
Well, I wish you would follow up on your kind of offhand suggestion about a GoFundMe for the airport workers.
Who did
a lot
that?
of us have been sitting here just feeling desperate to help do something. It's horrible what's going on. I wish you would look into that, pursue it with legal help, and see if it's possible to get something like that done, because it wouldn't be a person like you suggested. It would be everybody.
Yeah, I mean, because I think what you're referencing is Elon Musk offered to pay, which it turns out it does not appear that is legal for one person to do that.
Legal for a person, but how is that worded exactly? And could they stop a thing like GoFundMe, which is not a person, it's a movement?
I don't know the answer to that, Rebecca.
No.
I don't know.
I wish you'd follow up on it, because I think a lot of us would just love to chip in big time on that.
Yeah, I personally have had so many sexual assaults from TSA blue shirts that I wouldn't give to it, but I know there's a lot of people who feel bad for a lot of them.
Well, and it's not just TSA that's not getting paid.
Yeah, it's also
FEMA,
Coast Guard and
Coast
FEMA.
Guard.
Yeah. All right. Hey, appreciate that idea. Thanks a lot, Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah, because I'm trying to separate out the policy from the multiple ridiculous experiences that I have with those people. I just, if somebody's like, I work for the TSA, I keep you safe. I'm like, no, you don't, and I don't want to talk to you now.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how
I can despise the organization they work for, but also sympathize with these are still people that have bills to pay.
Yeah, no, yeah, and it's not fair. They're going to work. I mean, they're getting paid to violate you, and many of them are accomplishing their goal. That's what they're there for.
I'm lonely, Mike. I need all the affection I can get.
I'm just saying, but yeah, I mean, you go to work, you're supposed to get paid. That's true, without a doubt. All right. But then again, I also understand my opinion may not be in the majority, because when it's politically convenient, conservatives and the Republicans suddenly like the TSA, whereas we used to really not like it because of the violations, but it's politically convenient now. So now that's what we do. All right. So otherwise here, I want to get to some opening day stuff here. RedState.com, not just informative. It's convenient because you can find coverage of all sorts of things in one spot. So Susie, what should we check out today?
This is the Red State Rundown.
Today on Red State, you should check out a VIP article from my friend Andrew Malcolm. He's an old school journalist. He's been in the business for years and years and years, as long as I've been alive,
That's
honestly.
a name I haven't heard in a while.
Andrew Malcolm, well, he does a regular column on Wednesdays or Thursdays. It's an audio recording podcast. This one's titled Refugees Fleeing Blue State, Texas are Quietly Boosting Red State Powers. So it's kind of just another look at the migration from blue states to red states and why that is, significant with basically years worth of perspective on it. Definitely worth checking out. Also want to recommend Ben Smith's article, Vance's Anti-Fraud Task Force Freezes 70 LA Providers as Federal Crackdown Hits California Hospice System. We were talking about this earlier, so this is kind of a follow-up on that. And then last but not least, from Terry Christoph, what genius thought letting adult illegals into high school was a good idea?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you heard it right. There are some school systems that say that someone who's English as a second language can stay in high school till they're 22.
22.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They'll be the most popular one because they're the ones who can buy the beer.
Right.
Yeah.
With their ID that they have, even though they're not supposed to be here. They're documented, but not undocumented. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know who thinks it's a good idea, but I know who they voted for.
Fair bet.
Let's put it that way. All right. Coming up on 7:56 right now. Opening day in St. Louis. Opening day. Big deal. Here's the thing. The pregame stuff starts at 10:30 with the pep rally there at Ballpark Village. Listen, we're not downtown anymore, but I guarantee you there's a lot of people milling around Ballpark Village right now. The pre-gaming has been underway. The stadium gates are going to open up at noon. Pre-game festivities start at 2:30. Game starts at 3:15, but there is partying probably getting ready to get going right now.
I suspect
Yeah.
so.
So if you're going to go to the game, you're going to go to the festivities because there's a lot of people that maybe aren't going to the game, but they're still going to go to the festivities down there. Although my understanding is I don't know that this is going to be a sellout. I think it's going to be close, but I haven't heard that they've sold out yet.
I don't know.
But it's probably going to be close. You can probably grab, I didn't check Ticketmaster or anything, but you can probably grab something. If you're going to go, here's the best advice I've got. Just make it a day. You know what? Don't worry about the parking's going to be all day or whatever. This is your vacation day. Just make it a day. Have your meals there. Rush hour traffic's going to suck leaving the stadium because the game's going to end around 5:45 or 6. Just stay and have dinner.
Here's my advice.
Yes.
Be sure to hydrate adequately.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's going to be hot.
And use sunscreen.
Yeah, which a lot of people don't think of because it's so early. We've had so much rain on it. But yeah, in between the other drinks, be they adult beverages or iced tea or soft drinks or something, get a little bit of water in there as well. Because it's going to be, I saw my app this morning, it said 91. Now they're saying it could be up to 93.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just be careful, but have lots and lots and lots of fun with, 30, 40,000 of your closest friends and neighbors.
Do it.
$1949, the last time a Republican held the top post in St. Louis City. A gallon of milk was 84 cents, and streetcars ran down Grand Avenue. Unfortunately, St. Louis City streets are no longer the epicenter of family and business life. In the 80 years of Democrat control, our city has been on a steady decline.
Hello, Kirk Ilsinger, chairman of the Republican Party for the city of St. Louis, and we believe it is our duty to provide a different path forward. I invite you to our meetings the first Thursday of every month. Learn more at stl-gop.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican PAC. Curtis Farber, Treasurer.
Swings, and it's a high fly ball. That's hit deep. It's a gunner! It's a gunner! And a game winner!
Start the season in style on Saturday, March 28th. The Cardinals welcome the Tampa Bay Rays for a spring showdown downtown. That day, you can score a lightweight Cardinals pullover, a navy blue look built for early season nights, and easy everyday wear. Comfortable, classic, and ready for cool evenings at the ballpark. It's a layer you'll reach for all season long. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Hot matchup, colder drinks. Only at Busch Stadium when the Cardinals host the Tampa Bay Rays on Sunday, March 29th. Fans will take home a stainless steel Cardinals tumbler presented by Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Designed to lock in the cold and show off your Cardinals pride, it's the perfect companion for 9 innings and beyond. A practical addition to any Cardinals collection that'll keep you cool all game long. Tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Gorman. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
This is Larry Connors, and my favorite sandwich at Capriati's is a Philly cheesesteak with peppers. Sweet peppers, but sometimes hot peppers. I love Capriati's, and so will you.
Open 9 to 9 daily on Manchester at McKnight in Rock Hill.
News, analysis, opinion.
It's Democrats and Chuck Schumer that are causing the long lines.
They think we ought to abolish ICE, just like they wanted to abolish police.
Nuke the filibuster in order to pass the SAVE Act.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefontaine, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewsTalkSTL.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Israel says the Navy chief of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard was killed in an overnight military strike. Israel's defense minister said the leader died along with other senior naval commanders. He said the Navy chief was responsible for bombing operations that have blocked ships from crossing the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump claims that Iran wants to make a deal with the U.S. to end the war.
We're winning so big, nobody's ever seen anything like we're doing in the Middle East with Iran. And they are negotiating, by the way, and they want to make a deal so badly, but they're afraid to say it because they figure they'll be killed by their own people. They're also afraid they'll be killed by us.
On social media this morning, the president wrote that Iranian negotiators better get serious soon before it's too late. A jury in Los Angeles has found Meta and YouTube liable in a landmark social media addiction trial.
The plaintiff is a 20-year-old woman who says she became addicted to social media as a child, and it exacerbated her mental health struggles. Her attorney, Mark Lanier, says this sends a strong message.
Just because of the features alone that drive addiction, these companies can be held accountable.
Other families were there backing this case. Juliana Arnold blames Instagram for her daughter's death.
They knew the harm, they knew the damage, they assessed the risk, and they moved forward anyway.
Meta's Ashley Nicole Davis says they will appeal. The companies are being ordered to pay $6 million in damages. I'm Ed Donahue.
Global financial markets are lower this morning. Oil prices have jumped back above $100 a barrel as the war against Iran drags on. AAA says today's national average for gasoline just under $4 at $3.98 a gallon. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Coming to movie theaters from Sight and Sound Films.
George Whitfield has arrived to awaken the colonies.
One man was led by faith.
Arise! Come forth!
The other was a man of reason.
I am just the lightning rod. And who is the saucepan?
This Easter weekend, an unlikely friendship shaped a nation.
One candle illuminates 1,000.
A great awakening. In theaters April 3rd. Rated PG-13.
Don't miss cutting-edge coverage of daily news on the Alex Marlowe podcast.
For so many years, we thought we would see terror. Is it a Muslim? Now we're starting to think, is it a trans person? And we've indulged all of this. It's completely our fault, self-inflicted wound. We've run so hard away from the science and towards insanity. They'll never stop. They will never be done. They will always try to take more. They will always try to create more chaos.
Subscribe to the Alex Marlowe podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
On First Alert 4 meteorologist Chance Scotch with your First Alert forecast, looking at a record-breaking high this afternoon, back towards 93 degrees. Looking at some gusty winds up to about 25 miles per hour, also going to be possible. Then late tonight into Friday morning, going to be tracking a possibility of some strong and severe storms, prompting a First Alert weather day. That ends at 3 a.m. into Friday morning. Temperatures fall off significantly, looking at highs into the mid-50s. Then we'll slowly start to warm up towards the upcoming weekend, looking dry. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Scotch.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Want a hands-free light that does not strap to your head or held in your mouth? Meet Dex Fingerlight at fingerlight.com. The Kryptonite ring fits any finger pointing light exactly where you need it. Place decoys, handle gear, get close to roosted gobblers, fast, easy, stealthily. 3 light modes, waterproof, extremely durable. Developed by a father and son's Missouri team, Dex Fingerlight is faster and easier than a headlamp. Use discount code TONY20 for 20% off at fingerlight.com.
State Freedom Caucus Unfiltered, Sunday nights at 7 on NewsTalkSTL. Hear all the behind-the-scenes stories about what the State Freedom Caucus is doing across the country, directly from the legislators and the people that are doing it. State Freedom Caucus Unfiltered, this Sunday night at 7 with your host, Tim Jones. State Freedom Caucus Unfiltered, now Sunday nights at 7 on NewsTalkSTL.
Mike Ferguson.
Boo! Relax, nerd.
Susie Moore.
And that would be a good time to respond with some applause.
Get up! Can't you hear the alarm? Get up, St. Louis.
That's a banana republic without the banana.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL. Get up! This is your cousin.
All right, here's the deal. Somebody is going to write the rules for AI. I mean, hopefully AI is not going to be tasked with writing the rules on itself.
Oh, that would be terrifying.
That would not be good. Somebody's going to write the rules. So who should it be, and how do we make sure that whatever those rules are sets up a future that is fair to all of the viewpoints? Because who's writing the rules on the ground level here is going to dictate the entire direction that this world-changing technology is going to take and how this world-changing technology is going to affect us. Our friends at the Taxpayer Protection Alliance have some thoughts on that. We're now joined by David McGarry from TPA as well. David, let me start there as to why right now is so crucial, because we debate and we re-debate regulations on anything and everything, including stuff that we first dealt with in the 1800s. That's just part of tweaking the the rules as things go along. I mean, we still debate road safety. We still debate business regulations, and some of these go back a century or more. This is the ground level. This is brand new. Why is it so crucial we get this stage of the evolution right when it comes to where the lane is and where it's not?
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me on. I would first say I certainly don't want Gavin Newsom or Kathy Hochul to be writing the rules. The right approach to this is to apply the basic principles of law, of tort law, of consumer protection, and principles about innovation. That here in America, we let people make new things. We let them come up with new and better ideas, to experiment, to provide radically new technologies that promise huge benefits for their fellow citizens. That's really what the process of economics is about. It's a process of helping other people and being rewarded for it. Now, why is it so crucial now? We have seen so many advances that come from artificial intelligence. This means that we have patients in this country who never before would have been able to get cures for their diseases, who now have ways either to get better or to improve their quality of life. We have farmers and manufacturers and business owners who have new efficiencies and are able to hire new workers because AI has enabled them to run their businesses more smoothly. And the benefits really sprawl out across the entire economy. AI is a general purpose technology. It's also a continental technology. It is a technology that is going across the nation, and we need a single federal standard that's going to lay basic ground rules relying on tried and true principles of existing law that are going to facilitate innovation and ensure that America remains the technological leader going forward into the 21st century.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is with the absence of one set of essentially top-down rules right now, you've got states all over the country, including Missouri, where we are, that are looking to put in, regulations and limits of what can and can't be done on AI. And so why is this different than, other aspects of technology to say, well, let the laboratories of democracy work like anything else? Is it obviously because there's no location for the internet, there's no location for the specific location for the impact on this? Why should this? Because conservatives, we tend to be skeptical of the federal government setting all the rules on something. But is this one of those that we need to be more open to that?
Well, you will find no stauncher defender of federalism than this guy here on the phone with you right now. However, the Constitution does clearly provide certain powers to the federal government. And the fact is that the business of AI is interstate commerce. And that is what we're talking about in the Article 1, Section 8 allows the federal government to regulate that. And on the policy side of things, we also want the feds to set a single standard, because it's almost impossible for AI developers, or for that matter, for businesses that are using AI, to navigate a complex Byzantine regulatory landscape with different principles and different requirements in all 50 states. And practically what this means, and I think this is something for conservatives who value local control and small government, practically what this means is that technology companies are going to abide by the most stringent standards that are passed by the largest states. So that means that Missouri could pass the best set of AI regulatory measures. It could set up a fantastic, thriving ecosystem in Missouri to promote innovation and to help consumers. And at the end of the day, if California or if New York or maybe even a red state like Texas passes some bogus standard that is squashing innovation, Missouri's businesses, Missouri's innovators, and Missouri's consumers and families, they're going eventually to be held to the standards of those bigger states.
Producer Jerome chiming in. Thank you again, David McGarry, for joining us this morning. This might be a little bit of a complex or multifaceted question here, but I know a lot of the concerns with some of the younger people that are closer to millennial and Gen Z age is with the implementation of AI and how rapidly it's being developed, and it's resulting in quite a few layoffs in many different departments, and some degrees are actually almost obsolete now. How concerned should we be that we are essentially enabling a technocratic neo-feudalist society, or is that still so far out of the realm of possibilities at the moment that's just sci-fi, dystopian fears?
Something that is really wonderful about people is how capable we are of adjusting to new economic and technological circumstances. America used to be a nation in which something like 90% of people were farmers. Today, the percentages in the single digits. AI, I think, is going to cause certain changes that may be a little bit more rapid in specific targeted sectors than previous evolutions of the economy have been. But that doesn't mean that the fundamental dynamic won't play out in the same way. And that is that, yes, there are certain jobs that will be made more efficient by AI, which essentially means you need fewer people to do the same work. I think that's a fact. But as always happens with technologies that allow for productivity gains, when people are freed up to, when technology allows fewer people to do the same work, and that frees up more people to go and do something else, they don't go home and sit on their couch, absent some other exogenous input. People are the greatest resource. We will always need them. And so if you do have a sector, say, you have 2 people in your logistics department instead of 5, those 3 people are going to go off and find work. And businesses, because they're more efficient, because they're more productive, are going to have the capital and the resources to hire all of these new people to do even more and even better things to increase the prosperity of America.
Okay, if you go to protectingtaxpayers.org, you can find their blog post on this. TPA urges national AI standard without red tape, and we're visiting with David McGarry from TPA here. Okay, so last couple minutes that we've got here. So what are the specifics that Congress should be looking at, the president should be looking at? Because in addition to saying you don't want, the left-wing Californians or New Yorkers or, Illinois government, setting the rules that are going to bind the right and, frankly, probably give the left, free reign. And you may say, well, that's just a conspiracy. They never do that. Well, I would look at the Amazon Web Services thing. I'd look at the social media application of rules on the on the right that weren't on the left. So we know that bias exists because we've seen technology abused of it. But we're not just dealing with it domestically. We're also dealing with competing for the development of this against China, against other parts of the world. So specifically, what should Congress, what should the president, what should they be looking to do to have that balance between keeping it as a healthy, robust, growing free market economy, or as much as possible, and also setting the lanes to keep it from violating other people or from becoming something that's an out-of-control monster?
Well, one of the greatest myths out there is that AI is a completely unregulated technology, and that simply isn't true. this country is planted thick with laws. If I can borrow the line from a man from all seasons, there are many consumer protection statutes. There are many statutes against fraud and against preventing other harms that already apply to AI. AI isn't some special get out of liability free card. My position is simply that we shouldn't view AI as so different from anything that has come before that we introduce special burdensome rules that are going to stifle innovation and hold America back in this great global AI race. Instead, what we should do is figure out how these existing laws, these existing principles, they've been tested. They've proven incredibly effective. And we should see how they apply to AI. We should say that if you commit fraud against somebody on your own, you will be held liable. If you commit fraud against somebody using AI, you will also be held liable. We have a very good system in this country. We are, as you said, in a global AI race, and we should double down on our free market approach in order to ensure that we win it. But part of that is not allowing AI companies to get out of jail free card, so to speak. It's simply to apply the existing laws we've had that balance promoting innovation and protecting people, and using that system to move forward into the 21st century.
All right, David McGarry from Taxpayer Protection Alliance. Let's go ahead and put the website, social media out there. People want to follow your work and your thoughts on this. What's the way to do it?
Well, you can go to protectingtaxpayers.org for the full menagerie of all of TPA's activities. You can also follow me for all of my work on Twitter, and my work can be found at David B. McGarry. All
right, David, good talk to you, and thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, tomorrow's show. Listen, Susie and I are going to be doing the show from our friends at Whistle Pig Outdoors in Troy. So we're going to be there early, but Whistle Pig is actually going to open up a little bit early. You want to come out and say hi? Please do. Troy, man, it's a fun place. We're right there, going to be on the main drag. Just look up whistlepigoutdoors.com. But we're going to be doing the program from there, live from Troy. So be sure to check out Whistle Pig Outdoors. And you know what? It's worth coming on up if you're from the city. If you're from the Troy area, stop by and say hi, because you are right in the middle of that 94.1 territory. We'd love to meet you and say hi while we're doing the show from this part of the metro region. So tomorrow morning, live from Whistle Pig in Troy.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Smart people know it. Stupid people may not know it.
On News Talk STL.
Listen, you've got your home. This isn't just a building. This is where you create your memories. This is where you rear your family. This is an investment. This can serve a lot of purposes for you. That's why you take care of it with people you can trust. Mike Ferguson here from my friends at STL Fenceworks. Listen, they've been around the St. Louis metro area serving this community for over 50 years. This is a family-owned business. You want to know what people think of them? Go look them up for yourself. A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau. Here's the thing. American-made materials. This is an advantage to you. They only use American-made materials. And while you may say, great, that's good for America, America's workforce, it is, but it also allows them to install faster because there's no supply chain delays. It also means that it is more competitive than those who have to get imported stuff. But here's the thing. It also supports American manufacturing as well. But there are also guarantees. They've got the trademark promise, your satisfaction is our passion. No pressure estimates to start. Matter of fact, you can go to stlfenceworks.com right now. If you're looking for a fence, you can actually get the digital ballpark figure and see what it might look like and what it might cost without that pressure. stlfenceworks.com. They treat St. Louis right. When you invest and you improve, make sure that you're doing it right the first time. stlfenceworks.com.
Sometimes it seems all lawmakers do is tax and spend. That's why Missouri voters passed the Hancock Amendment in 1980 to place a limit on what the government can do with your money. But the Hancock Amendment is outdated. It hasn't provided a taxpayer refund since 1999 and probably won't without reform. That's why Missouri needs a taxpayer bill of rights. Colorado has one, and taxpayers there have received more than $8 billion in refunds. It's simple. There should be limits on government spending and refunds when there's a surplus in the state budget. A taxpayer bill of rights constitutional amendment would help limit the growth of government. Missouri's budget has nearly doubled in the past 5 years, yet the state lags far behind states like Colorado in economic growth. The Hancock Amendment was supposed to protect taxpayers. Now it's time for an update and a taxpayer bill of rights. After all, it's your money. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Tired of settling for generic fishing gear? Say hello to Bullseye Bait and Tackle, O'Fallon's one-stop shop for serious anglers. Live bait, premium tackle, rods, reels, and an unbeatable selection of lures from top brands like Megabass, Zoom, and Berkley. Whether you're after bass, catfish, crappie, or bluegill, they've got the gear to help you land the big one. Plus, their expert team, led by Mark and Liz, provides rod and reel repair services. Bullseye Bait and Tackle, 266 Fort Zumwalt Square, or at bullseyebaitandtackle.net.
I really like all the things you're saying.
News, analysis, opinion.
Thank you very, very much.
News Talk STL.
The Mike Ferguson Show is one of my favorite programs. In addition to Larry Connor's USA, catch my program at 6. Now, back to Mike.
All right, today's the unofficial holiday here in St. Louis. Some people would love to make it an official holiday.
It seems that way. I had no idea this entire time how big of a deal opening day was.
I'm just saying business and office productivity around the St. Louis region, not going to be what it normally is today. You've got opening day, you've got March Madness, you got a lot of stuff going on. So happy opening day, everybody. Also, think of this. It's like Minnesota, only in California. So it's fraud with sandy beaches and better tans.
Yeah, it's warmer fraud.
Very warmer fraud. All right. And also, like I said, take your pick of sports to watch today, man. Around St. Louis, you got baseball, you got basketball, you got hockey, you name it, we got it. All right, 8:21 right now. Let's go and do another news dump here.
The Morning News Dump, brought to you by The Nutrition Stop.
Successful dump. Wake up, America. It all worked out.
You know, I mean, they got all the news.
The Morning News Dump.
And away we go. The opening day festivities begin this morning around 10:30. There are unconfirmed reports that pre-gaming is happening like crazy all over St. Louis near Ballpark Village as it is. Woo. Unconfirmed, but you know it's happening. The 10:30 is when the pep rally starts at Ballpark Village. Gates open at Busch Stadium at noon, so they're opening up earlier than normal. And the pregame ceremony started at 2:30. So really what they're hoping is that you're going to have lunch there at the stadium, which there's all kinds of food to choose from. First pitch of the game is at 3:15. The Rays are in town to get the season started.
They're showing up for butt kicking, huh?
That's what we're hoping for, without a doubt. Yep. All right. We still are getting word that the negotiations on the stalemate over the Department of Homeland Security funding, very shaky ground here. Matter of fact, we've got Newsmax reporting just minutes ago that whatever negotiations are happening, they're reporting it as shaky ground. Okay. So Congress not breaking through that stalemate just yet. That's why frankly, the shutdown's continuing here. Democrats want to fund all of the agencies except ICE, and then they want some additional restrictions on ICE that they say will protect Americans from law enforcement.
But isn't ICE already funded through the One Big Beautiful Bill?
Completely already funded for it. Yep.
So they're literally just holding us hostage for a free paycheck while everything else goes to chaos.
Yeah, basically.
Thanks, Democrats.
Senator Eric Schmidt was on the Ingram angle on Fox, and he was kind of seeing it the way you're seeing it.
They care more about illegal immigrants than they do about the traveling public, these TSA workers. And my dad works 7 days a week in the midnight shift. Most people cannot afford to miss a paycheck, let alone 3 or 4.
And the head of the TSA has already told some media that it's possible that if this continues for days, weeks longer, that there could be entire airports shut down. Not just lines at the security for lack of staffing, but they could get to the point where they actually shut down some airports. Now, they're not going to shut down the major hubs, But those other ones, those secondary hubs, still fairly large airports and smaller airports, those at some point could get shut down.
Because the TSA, you are legally required to have some sort of security.
If you don't,
Because I'm wondering if ICE and potentially other, like National
Guard could be called up.
If those people are able to fill the role of TSA without officially being TSA, then can we not just operate airports without TSA?
That is possible. For instance, that to become like certified with the TSA, it's like a 2-week training. It's like 80 hours of training. It's basically a minor certificate.
Oh.
This isn't like a super complicated job here. Okay. So yes, you could start putting the National Guard through that. You could start putting other federal law enforcement, and then they could end up doing that. I don't think they want to. I think they want to keep them for airport security in general and allow as many TSA agents to be working the actual security stuff at the checkpoints, as possible. But there's only so many people you got to go around, and over 450 TSA agents have already quit and found other jobs because of this.
When it comes to like the bag loaders, though, that's private. So there's
those are the airlines. Yeah,
so
those
it's
are the
quite
airlines,
literally just the TSA agents
right,
at the airport.
Right.
Okay.
It's literally at that checkpoint right there. Okay. At an annual fundraiser for the National Republican Congressional Committee, this was in Washington, D.C., President Trump touting the military action against Iran and talking about the impacts that the conflict, that the war has had on the economy and still might have on the economy.
I thought that the energy prices, oil price would go up higher. I thought the stock market would go somewhat lower. But it didn't matter to me. It's short term.
Okay, the word out of the Middle East now is that Iran, or whoever it is we're talking to, Iran, has rejected the U.S. ceasefire offer. And among the demands, multiple reports say Iran is demanding complete sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, which is obviously the most important transportation area for oil in the world, because they're demanding complete sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. And I guarantee you, that is not going to happen once this is all said and done.
But yeah, that makes sense because that's pretty much the only leverage they really have is to be able to slow that down. Now, I would also employ them to consider their situation that they're in and just how mad the entire world is at them, and the fact that Russia and China are not going to be coming to back you up for very much longer once it starts affecting them harder.
Here's the thing, though, is that they've got a completely different worldview. It's about their religion. It's about martyrdom. So when you say, but you're all going to be wiped out, that's not a deterrent to the mindset that's in charge there. That's where the rest of the world so often gets this wrong, because like they're nuts, they're losing, they're being annihilated. Why are they doing this? Because to them, there's a heroism in dying for an evil cause.
Oh, well, in that case, let's just wipe them all out and make them a colony then.
That is
probably
on the table.
51st state, Iran, come on.
Okay, think of it as another Minnesota, just this time in California, and possibly bigger when it comes to fraud. The House Oversight Committee is investigating allegations of hospice fraud in California, and they're specifically looking at Los Angeles County. Chairman James Comer was on America Reports on Fox last night, saying that according to a state audit, so even run by Blue State California, $3.5 billion in federal hospice care funding has been stolen.
There are clearly hundreds of people registered to one address that are billing for thousands of people on hospice. It's not possible. It's not possible to have that many patients. It's not possible to have that big of a claim in one county.
And of course, a whistleblower and Republicans are saying that the governor's office knew about all this grift, and the governor's office, Gavin Newsom's office, saying, no, we've actually already started investigating the fraud. We've been working on this fraud for a long time. The truth, hopefully, will be flushed out soon.
Are you implying that the governor that let his state burn because they couldn't be bothered to refill their water supply would also allow massive fraud and corruption to go on for all this time?
Am I implying that? No. I am saying it, though. Just saying. All right, Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway telling dozens of businesses around the state to stop selling cannabis and marijuana products. The cease and desist letters went to businesses that, according to the AG's office, are not licensed dispensaries. And she's even got some questions about the actual products and the safety, because they're going to their shelves without going through the entire above-ground process. 18 of those businesses are in the St. Louis area. Most of them are in the city, but there are a couple of shops in Maplewood, and there's at least one in Baldwin that received those letters as well. And Catherine Hanaway don't play.
Oh,
I've known her for a long time. If she says "or else," believe that the "or else" has already been started.
It's not just going to be a timeout in the corner.
No. That's not how Catherine operates. All right, a pothole on I-55 became so big that it disabled multiple cars on Wednesday. Yeah, like people hit the cars people hit the potholes and their cars are broken now. That happened in the southbound lane near the Arsenal Street exit / on-ramp, so Soulard area there. MoDOT responded and traffic is back to normal, but they and police are saying be extra careful when driving in that area because if one pothole developed that fast, another one could do it as well, so be extra careful there.
Yeah, that's a foundational issue.
And you're going 65, 70 miles an hour through there.
Yeah, no, I would drive maybe only 5 over the speed limit, not 10.
Yeah. All right, the Sweet 16 round of the NCAA tournament starts today. Illinois has the late game. They're playing against the University of Houston. That game is in Houston as well. Tip-off is scheduled for 9:05, depending on how the game before it, how long that goes. The Illini are the 3rd seed in the South Regional. Cougars are the 2nd seed. The game will be on TBS. Blues back at home tonight, hosting the Sharks at Enterprise. Puck drops at 7. That game's on FanDuel.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Republicans aren't perfect, but the other side's crazy.
On News Talk STL. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
On First Alert 4 meteorologist Chance Scotch with your First Alert forecast, looking at a record-breaking high this afternoon, back towards 93 degrees. Looking at some gusty winds up to about 25 miles per hour, also going to be possible. Then late tonight into Friday morning, going to be tracking a possibility of some strong to severe storms, prompting a First Alert weather day. That ends at 3 a.m. into Friday morning. Temperatures fall off significantly, looking at highs into the mid-50s. Then we'll slowly start to warm up towards the upcoming weekend, looking dry. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Scotch.
Fox News commentary with Mark Thiessen. Next.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Here's Mark Thiessen.
Operation Epic Fury has been one of the greatest military successes that we've had in my lifetime. We are absolutely dismantling their ability to project force outside of their borders. We are dismantling their terror infrastructure. We're dismantling their infrastructure of repression. They are reeling right now. And so what President Trump is doing is he's following a two-track policy. He is negotiating with the regime and giving them the chance to capitulate while he is pummeling them relentlessly from the air. And so after 3 weeks of effectively 3 weeks of operations, we've got them at the 20-yard line. But you got to get into the end zone to score. You don't score. You don't get any points for being at the 20-yard line. And so the question is, how do we finish those last 20 yards? The last 20 yards are the hardest. All the easy targets have been hit. What's left is the hardened targets, the hidden targets, the deeply buried stuff. And we're dismantling that. We have a plan to do that. But at the same time, he's giving the Iranians a chance to end this at the negotiating table.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on NewsTalkSTL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
Guys, don't propose with a ring that she didn't pick out. Trust us, she already has a ring in mind. So engage with Gage Diamonds, in person or online. where Gage's skilled ring designers will work with her to create the perfect setting, matched with the perfect stone. Gage specializes in exquisite lab-grown diamonds. Financing available. GageDiamonds.com. We're engagement's middle name.
Free speech is alive and well in America right here.
It's about time somebody stood up for true American values.
What this country needs is some backbone.
Finally, a president who wants to make real change.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Let's get back to all this madcap mayhem with Mike Ferguson in the morning. But don't forget, stick around for Jones and Arps every Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m.
I think that's what the Cardinals are going to play in the locker room. This is going to beat some butts, beats of the Rays.
The through being cool?
That's right.
Well, it's going to be 90 degrees, so I guess literally
nobody,
as well.
Yeah, nobody's going to be cool. All right. All right, well, guess who's going to be back this weekend? Not today, but this weekend. The No Kings folks.
Oh.
They're making a return visit around the country here.
Are there, like, rogue kings roaming around the streets?
Well, not if they have something to do with it.
Oh, well.
All right, we'll get to that in just a minute. All right, now, speaking of baseball, we have this happen every, I don't know, a couple times a year. It doesn't matter what championship you win. If it's a major enough sport, you get to go meet the president. You get to go do that. That's been the traditions. I mean, who's the first one? Was it Kennedy or Eisenhower? I don't remember who it was. This has been around for generations. Republicans, Democrats, it's been around for a long time. And now, of course, every time somebody wins a championship, one of the things they win is that somebody wants them to become political with their winnings with it. That's what you get in this over-politicized society that we've got. It's almost like being oversexed. It's just over-politicized.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because too many people get off on politics.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right. So in Los Angeles, and I found this story at the Fox 11 TV station in Los Angeles, because there's like activists there, pro-illegal immigration activists that are demanding that the Dodgers not go get their moment with the president for winning the World Series last year. So here's the story. The reporter here is Laura Diaz.
Wednesday afternoon, protesters carrying picket signs gathered at the famed Vin Scully Way leading into Dodger Stadium. From the air and ground, about 30 vocal demonstrators were visible. Organizers said the baseball team should not go to the White House to celebrate their World Series ring like they did last year. Why? They cited President Trump's immigration policies, where sweeping ICE raids saw suspected undocumented migrants rounded up in cities like L.A., a fact they said angered the Dodger fan base, which is heavily Latino. Public response was mixed as to whether the boys in blue should boycott the White House.
Just stupid. I mean, it's just stupid. And you know what? It was stupid when there was pressure on, some conservative athletes to not go to the White House when Obama was there and not go to the White House when Biden was there. It's just dumb. It's just part of the perks if you win the championship. Is it a necessary thing for the country? No, it's a photo op. Enjoy the perk of getting to see the White House. I mean, that's just dumb, to say, use your platform to, show Orange Man that we think he's bad. How about you won a championship for your city? You're getting honored in the nation's capital. Just go do it and STFU.
Yeah, besides them being blatant traitors, obviously, there is something very sad and pathetic about being so bored, miserable, and underachieving, whatever words you can describe somebody of that nature, to where you have to have an emotional reaction and make your voice heard because somebody else achieved something and now they get the perks of visiting. It's pathetic.
Yeah, it really is. Now, first of all, Los Angeles has 9, 10, 11 million people in their entire metro area, something like that. And the reporter herself said there's about 30 protesters. I mean, were the protesters worried that ICE was lurking around the corner? I don't know, maybe. But first is Clayton Kershaw, who just retired from Major League Baseball. He was with the Dodgers his whole career and going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest, pitchers of the last 50 years. And he was asked about that. Like, well, what's your message? His message is, when we won during the Biden years. I went to the White House when President Biden was in office. I'm going when President Trump's in office. It has nothing to do with politics. Now, I have no idea what Clayton Kershaw's politics are. I don't know. I don't care. He doesn't talk about his personal politics. He's a baseball player. That's what he does. And then we'll see what he does in retirement here. So that was the most perfect answer, because it wasn't just, I'm going to try to appease the activists who are demanding. He basically said, it's ridiculous that you're trying to corner me on this. We won a World Series. A president invites us to the White House. You go.
Yeah, and that's the fundamental difference, I think, from a leftist point of view, from the rest of us on the right, is that we don't want your politics.
Yeah.
If you are an entertainer, if you are an athlete, if you are a musician, we want you to be able to express yourself and be able to be good at what you do, but we don't really care. Whereas it's the opposite. It doesn't matter how good or bad you are at something, as long as your politics align with mine, then you are on the right side of whatever lunatic liberalism is going on.
Yeah, remember, the Los Angeles Dodgers are also, the team that a couple years ago honored like the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence drag queen group. They literally honored them on the field. So I understand that LA is going to have the left-wing base, but not everything has to be about politics.
No.
Seriously.
Case in point. I mean, I like Rage Against the Machine, the band.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah,
a lot of that. I love their discography.
Not my personal taste outside of the politics, but I get it. They're huge.
Yeah,
Bulls on Parades, massive song.
And I completely reject, denounce, and distance their art from their actual political activism.
Tom Morello's an idiot.
Yeah, well, they all kind of are. But you have to do that sometimes. Sometimes you can be a great athlete or a great entertainer or a great poet or whatever, and you can be a total idiot behind the scenes, but if what you present to the world is good, then we should be able to enjoy that. And if you do something well enough that you get rewarded by going to the White House, I cannot believe that Biden was ever a president, and yet I would never fault somebody that I agree with, I like, for going to the White House when he was in power.
Yeah, and here's the thing is, at some point, if you make the politics your identity, then you're risking the market reaction to it. I mean, like at this point, Bruce Springsteen is all about his left-wing politics.
Yeah.
Well, he's got an amazing Americana set of music over the years. And at this point now, when you think of Bruce Springsteen, all you think of is left-wing politics, because that's what he's made his brand. And it's just kind of dumb. Now, listen, you got the right to say what you want to say there, Bruce, but you ain't the boss anymore. Just saying there. And so, Kershaw, I thought, just gave the smart answer. It's like, why are you asking? Why are you trying to corner me on this? It's just, let's not overthink it. How about we just accept the honor? Somebody else is going to be in the White House someday, and they're going to invite champions of the NCAA and the NFL and Major League Baseball and the NBA and MLS and whoever else to go. How about we just allow a little bit of levity to celebrate championships where one city or one market ends up getting to be the champion over all the other ones, around the world, or the Olympians or whatever the case is. We just don't have to do it this way. And it's just kind of dumb. I'm just saying there. Oh man. 8:42 right now. Got some thoughts on that? Let me know. 314-912-1019. We got somebody with some thoughts on that, do we?
We got our good friend Dave.
Hey Dave, you're on News Talk STL. What say you?
Mike, good morning. I just told young Jerome he is so much more mature than I am, because I was telling him one of my favorite actors, and I love how he cusses. His cuss words crack me up, kind of like Joe Pesci when he cusses.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson is a raging racist, which, that's okay. That's all right. You can believe. But he's also an insane liberal who is just a POS. De Niro, Glenn Close. There's so many people that I enjoyed their craft that they have ruined it for me. But that's okay, because it hasn't affected my life. I don't watch a whole lot of sports. There's so many things. But again, I'm mature enough to where if Jerome wants to listen to Rage Against the Machine, kudos to you. Mike, I know you're a huge baseball guy.
Yeah.
I probably was as big as baseball guy as you. But anymore, I just soon take a trip down to Heine Miney and watch the 18 and unders play than ever. I have not been in New Busch Stadium. I won't even take free tickets.
Yeah.
That's how much I despise the car. But again, that's the difference between mature adults and the petulant children on the other side, is that we can agree to disagree. Enjoy what you do. Have a good time. I'll take a pass.
Dave, you know who else is going to be playing at Heine Miney this year?
That would be you.
That would be me. I'm gonna be playing a few games out there this year.
Ooh.
Dead seriously, Mike. Let us know when you're going to be playing. I'd love to come out and watch you play.
Okay, we'll do it. We're gonna have. I think I've got 3, 4, 5 games there this year, actually.
Wow.
You know what? That sounds like. I wish I had the time to do stuff. So now what I've done is I argued with my doctor that I indulge in cigars, not many a week, but maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And the doctor said, well, one cigar is the equivalency of a pack of cigarettes. I said, Doc, you are correct. I said, I've researched it too. I said, however, you don't inhale on a cigar very, very often. I go, cigarettes, they'll absolutely kill you. So I think we had a stalemate, but I think the cigars are the healthy alternative.
Well, but the doctor wouldn't be doing his job if he didn't chastise you on it.
Yeah, exactly. But anymore, hey, when I go to the doctor, they ask, do I have guns in my house? Do I drink?
Oh,
everything is no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't tell me.
Yeah,
but
totally.
no, hey, I Jerome, one of these days, my friend, I'll be as mature as you, but don't hold your breath.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
See you guys. Take care now. Bye-bye.
All right, real quick, the No Kings types are going to be out around town again on Saturday, apparently. So usual places, if you've seen them there before, you're probably going to see them there this Saturday. Looks like middays and early afternoons, but whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, if anybody out there actually finds a king just lurking around, send me a
That's
photo.
right. Point them out.
Point them out. I would
Listen, point them out. Say, well, they got the protest. Like, there's a king over there.
I will apologize to these groups for making fun of them if you can show me evidence that there's a king anywhere in the vicinity of St. Louis. Now, what we could prove for certain, though, is that Flashback Friday is tomorrow, which means I need your 80s bump music requests submitted to me, Jerome at NewsTalkSTL.com, so we know what to play for you tomorrow, and also include the time that you listen so you can hear your request.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Always be yourself, unless you suck.
On News Talk STL.
Hey, Jamie Allman here for Window World. Did you know that Window World offers a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor? They are one of the only 2 replacement windows with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Window World St. Louis has been owned and operated by a group of born and raised St. Louis residents for more than 23 years, and now Window World is offering 36 months same as cash financing with approved credit. Call them today, 800-GET-WINDOWS for a free in-home, no-pressure estimate. That's Window World at 800-GET-WINDOWS.
License number GL2500615.
Hey, it's good to hear you.
Hey, Dad, isn't it good to see ya?
Yep, but with smoke alarms, we need to hear them. If one alarm is downstairs, you might not hear it upstairs.
At school, everyone hears the fire alarm.
That's why we install hardwired smoke alarms that all go off together, just like school.
Smoke alarms done the right way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeServices.com.
Cardinal Nation, it's time to paint the town red.
Opening day of Cardinal baseball at Busch Stadium.
And there's nothing else like it.
It's a St. Louis tradition.
2 things define St. Louis: Cardinal baseball and News Talk STL.
Play ball!
Cardinal baseball opening day, March 26th, backed by our hometown favorites, Dushan High School, Freddy's Market, and D. Gregorio's Food Products.
Cardinal baseball!
The Laborers International Union of North America, Local 110, was formed in 1933 and from the beginning has strived for progress and the well-being of others. The laborers of Local 110 are hardworking men and women who take pride in their great work. They are the fastest growing union of construction workers and one of the most effective unions representing plants and quarries. Laborers Local 110 has the best medical benefits, pension, education, and heavy construction training in the market. Visit lu110.com and start your future today.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Missouri Supreme Court has reinforced that the Missouri First Map and mid-decade redistricting are constitutional. We'll talk to the Missouri Attorney General, Catherine Hanaway, about that Thursday at 10:41.
Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Hi, it's Vic Porcelli.
And Ken.
Hi, Ken.
Hey, Vic.
Ken and I are on every Monday through Friday here on News Talk STL. Right now, you're listening to Mike Ferguson in the morning on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Whoosh, my morning people.
Okay, so that led to a conversation between Jerome and I, and during that information segment, we just covered a lot of ground on that.
Yeah,
because we're talking about Dave. Like, Dave called in, and he's like, I can separate out the politics from the craft, which is 100% true. Now, you can go too far, and it's like, okay, now I just don't want to deal with you. But, you know, I don't really care how the singer or the actor votes. I mean, if they make it their entire identity, they can be annoying enough, and I don't want to deal with them because they're annoying.
If a craft is good enough, then I'm willing to separate, to a degree, I'm willing to separate the artist from the art. But, you know, for example, Foo Fighters was a band that I really enjoyed growing up. They were very influential on me as a young musician. And then to find out that Dave Grohl wants nothing to do with Republicans playing his music and giving him money, all right, well, that's what piracy's for, I guess. But at the same time, no, then if you don't want me at your show, then I just won't come to your shows.
Yeah, see, and that's self-defeating. And the thing is, the arts should be one of those areas that people can come together for things, you know, but that's another thing where people in the media, we were all talking about this a couple hours ago here during one of our information segments. One of the things about anybody who works in a public eye, be it like what we do in the media, musicians, actors, whatever, you're really tempted to start thinking of yourself as more important than you really are.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with doing that is that the market and reality slaps you back into reality. Because believe me, I did that a couple times over my career. I'm like, and then all of a sudden I find out, oh, I'm really not that big of a deal. You know, this is just another way to make a living, you know, having conversations with people, which I love doing, but not everybody, you know, never. So, you know, we mentioned, you know, Bruce Springsteen's, his whole identity now is left-wing politics. You know, but there are others who, you know, stake their ground out and they're like, hey, these are our values. They're either conservative or whatever the case is, you know, great. If you can make a living doing it, fantastic. Otherwise, there's something just saying, I'm just going to do my music. This is what I think. Make of it what you will. I hope everybody comes on and has a good time to the show. I respect that, whether they're on the right or the left.
But Mike, what gives us the right to talk about our politics openly and want people to care about our politics when they? Well, because I get that argument all the time when I point stuff out like that. And I think it's compartmentalized. You know, if you are a painter, you know, there is some elements of politics that come through a lot of people's paintings, or at least, you know, commentary on society, depending on
paintings of previous eras of human history are commentaries on those eras.
Yes, and so if you know, and same thing with music. A lot of music is inspired by life events, or your observations of society. And I'm not, you know, again, Rage Against the Machine, inherently a political band, inherently very much more of a left-leaning political band.
Totally.
But the message could resonate with multiple people that are just frustrated with society. So I give them a pass, even though I disagree with them on every single point of the thing. Versus, again, a band
just don't
like
care for their music. You know, it's just not my cup of tea. But the thing is, like, it has nothing to do with me disagreeing with them. It's just one of the bands where I'm like, I get it. I understand why people like them. Just I'd rather listen to Led Zeppelin or Disturbed.
Yeah,
you know?
but if you are a band with like, I'm trying to think of who's even like a relevant pop star.
What now?
Like a pop star. Like, okay, so Bad Bunny, for example. I don't know any of the music.
I don't know anything about his music.
But you know, a lot of these people you should be there just to give people a good time, to bring people together, to have some feel good moments, and then you want to then alienate people that have supported you.
Well, and let's look on the other side of that. Who is the kind of the rapper, singer, party guy who basically took that approach? Because I'm trying to think of the same genre as a Bad Bunny, like
DJ Khaled.
I don't know anything about him.
Daft Punk.
No, Pitbull.
Pitbull, yeah, Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah. Right, Pitbull. Okay, so didn't he at one point just say, let's just party?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if he's conservative or liberal, or I have no idea, but he was like, this is dumb. Can we just have a party? I'm like, my music, I'm not into his type of music. I totally get why it's popular. You know, it's clearly party type music, but I'm like, the ones who just say, raise their hand and go, listen, believe what you want. Let's just have a party. Let's just have a concert. You know, that it's really not that hard. You know, if you want to use your platform and say something, just understand that in a free market of ideas, you can lose people. You can lose supporters. You can lose dollars. You can lose all that. So I support your right to say whatever you want to say. Listen, Robert De Niro can be as much of an idiot as he wants, and then I have the choice to buy a ticket to his movie or not.
Yeah, and going back to Pitbull for a moment, that he is the epitome of what I would love to see more of from these entertainer types. You know, is I I grew up listening to his music. I've got no idea what his politics are either. All I know is that he has an entire fan base that he enjoys interacting with. They wear bald caps to mimic his hairstyle at shows, and he's done a lot for charities. He's done a lot to keep his fans engaged. So at the end of the day, if he disagrees with me on everything, that's not really relevant because he does so much other good. It's the people that are so self-righteous that don't do anything.
That's it. The self-righteous. That's what it is.
And we see it's very much more common with a lot of these actor types. It's that I have so many yes men hyping up my ego that I buy my own hype. I'm high on my own gaslighting. And then I think I'm so much smarter and better than everybody, but you don't do anything for anybody. I would rather somebody disagree with me fundamentally and still be able to go and help out at a homeless shelter or an animal shelter with them than have somebody that agrees with me on everything, but then they're just smug about it.
Yeah, and the reality is that you're really well-paid court jesters.
Yes.
I mean, that's really your job is to amuse us.
You got lucky because you look good. And now with all the CGI and all that stuff, and even auto-tune now with a lot of these things, there are people you'd be surprised that have no talent, but they look good enough that they can hide that now.
Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, I saw an ad for an AI app that you just record your voice speaking, and then they'll turn it into you singing your favorite song. So it's like, if you had singing talent, what would it sound like if you were singing your favorite song? I was actually tempted to do it, but I'm like, nah, there's a lot wrong with that. Okay, last couple minutes we've got. Opening day here in St. Louis.
Ooh.
So I suspect there's already a lot of people heading down. They're already downtown now. The pep rally starts in about an hour and a half.
The game doesn't start till 3.
3:15.
Oh,
the pep rally starts at 10:30.
Ooh.
Or no, I'm sorry. Is it 9:30? I think maybe it's 10:30. But the party is probably already started. I don't know when the Ballpark Village restaurants are going to open up. Some of them do serve some breakfast stuff, so I'm sure that there's some that are already have people in there. But there are people milling around Ballpark Village. The party is going to be a day-long party out there, so watch out for the traffic stuff. It's just going to be a little more than usual. The reality is that there's not a lot of work that's going to be done in St. Louis today because it's opening day. And then you get into the game at 3:15, so that'll be done around 5:45 or so, maybe 6. Blues play at 7. So you know what? You can just walk on down the Enterprise Center or get one of those carts or whatever and check out the Blues game. That's going to go to, 9:30 or so, something like that. And then Illini play at 9:05 in the NCAA tournament. So you can just do the sports thing all day long with regional teams.
Now, I will remind everybody, though, it's going to be 90 degrees out there.
93.
So 93. Ooh.
Yeah.
So if you are going to be pre-gaming and tailgating and whatever else St. Louis doing opening day, make sure you I would even bring like an umbrella to keep yourself, shaded from the sun, but also bring obviously sunscreen, bring some, hydrate beforehand.
Totally.
You don't have to wait until you're in the park. You can drink water on the way there, and then you'll stay a little bit more hydrated.
And if you're doing like soft drinks and iced tea and stuff like that, you know what? Those are fine. Those are going to keep you somewhat hydrated, but work in a bottle of water every 2 or 3. If you're drinking alcohol, work in a water in between as many drinks. Like it would be smart to do at least half a bottle of water in between each drink.
Yeah, or at least chew on the ice cubes or something.
Something,
You do not want to be the guy that shows up tomorrow for work looking like a lobster and all dehydrated.
You know how many people are calling in tomorrow because they're not functional after a day of partying for opening day. Yeah, that's not just limited today. But should it be a holiday? A lot of people say, yeah, it's an unofficial holiday. Make it an official holiday around town.